Welcome to the Your Live Event FFA Show 2026, brought to you by JT Seed in Reynolds, North Dakota, carrying AP Select's quality lineup of seed for your upcoming planting season. Stop by JT Seed in Reynolds or give Jerry a call at 218-791-3513 to learn more. Without further ado, let's hear from our future farmers of America.
And we're here with a couple members of Ulen Hitterdal FFA. We are here with Cole Brenna, Madison Jareva, and Marley Mint. And to kind of get things started, I'll kind of just have each of you kind of introduce yourselves to our audience here. And yeah, we could start with you, Cole. Kind of tell us a little bit more about yourself and your FFA background.
I started FFA in seventh grade. I compete in poultry evaluation and floriculture. My SAE is poultry production, and then I'm also a region officer.
I'm Madison Jareva. I'm a junior at Ulen Hitterdal. My CDE that I compete in is floriculture, and my supervised agricultural experience is making sourdough bread.
I'm Marley Mint. I'm a sophomore. I'm the reporter for the FFA for the Ulen Hitterdal FFA chapter, and my CDE is floriculture as well.
Okay. And Marley, starting with you, what is a reporter? Kind of what is that person? What does that role entail for FFA?
So, what I like to do or what I do is after like CDEs or certain, say we have an event and there's people from our chapter that go and participate. I usually try and kind of interview them a little bit or get pictures, and I send it to a local newspaper out of Holly.
All right, and Madison, I know you mentioned that you kind of compete in like a floral type thing. Kind of talk a little bit more about that.
So it's a competition where we do a 50-question test about different things relating to the horticulture industry. And then we have a 10-question problem solving where we need to do things like do fertilizer calculations. And then we do an identification portion. So there's 50 different specimens that we need to identify. So it can be plants, and then there's also tools, nuts. Oh, and then we also have a practicum where we need to make an arrangement or a corsage depending on the year.
Okay. And how much studying do you have to kind of do for a test like that?
I do quite a bit. I've been doing it for a few years, so I don't have to do quite as much, but it's still good to have a refresher before every contest. So it's 50 questions that come from a wide range of different topics, so quite a bit, I'd say.
Okay. And Cole, kind of talk a little bit more about your position as a regional officer. Kind of what does that entail?
The region officer level is like one step higher than the chapter level. We lead different events like WRLC or Winter Leadership. Oh my God, Winter Region Leadership Conference, and then SRLC, which is the summer version of that. We also have Fall Rally, and that's just a big get together for the green hands or incoming members, basically. And we also do chapter visits for different chapters to help them with their meetings and everything. And we're just a big group of people who help lead the region.
And why was that something that you wanted to pursue and become?
I really like the different planning aspects of FFA, and I feel like region officers do a lot of that. And it's also it's a great way to bond with different members in the region, meet new people. I also get a lot more opportunities within FFA, and yeah.
Okay. And I know FFA week is basically here now. And how do you guys kind of plan on celebrating here throughout the week?
We are going to do our FFA week in March. We tend to usually do it a different week, especially because usually it's President's Day week, so we won't have school Monday, so it's easier to do more activities when we have a full week of school. So we're going to be doing it in March. Do you want to talk about some of the stuff we have planned?
So every year we usually do a bunch of different activities from like Barnyard Olympics. That's just like a big we all gather in the gymnasium and we do a bunch of stations like farm related, like carrying buckets of corn across a different little path, and then we also have plank ski.
It's a relay race.
Yeah. And then we have Kiss the Critter, and that's where we blindfold different teachers and have them kiss different farm animals that are brought in. We have the medallion hunt, and that's where we hide like a little FFA pin, and people search around the school with different clues that are given each day. Do we have anything else? We have a petting zoo for elementary students to come see the different animals, livestock.
We also do service projects. Last year we made birthday kits and just donated we had like bring in a canned item and then like one can would equal one vote for which teacher you wanted to kiss or what critter you wanted a teacher to kiss, I guess.
And then we do a dodgeball tournament with all the grades.
Yep. And is kind of the whole goal of that just to kind of promote FFA and maybe get more kids involved?
Yeah.
Yep. And in terms of your guys as a chapter over at Ulen Hitterdal, kind of do you know how many kids you currently have participating?
I think our average each year is about 50 active members anyway.
So, you guys are able to get a substantial amount of students participating in that. Why do you guys feel that you guys are able to build such a program like that?
I think it's just the kids in our school are very willing to participate, and you get a lot of opportunities in FFA too.
Yep. I also understand you guys have a couple of new teachers/advisors involved with you guys. Kind of how's that going?
Pretty good. Mr. Wenschlag does all the classroom instruction, and Mrs. Jensen does the kind of FFA advising and bringing us to competitions. And they're both doing good work.
Yeah, they're
very helpful for us.
They're a good team. They work well together.
Yes.
So you guys kind of mentioned you guys are able to do both classroom work and then stuff outside of school. What kind of classroom work what kind of classwork are you guys able to do through FFA?
So I'm in an independent study horticulture class right now. So what we're doing is we're building our own raised garden beds. So we designed them, and then we are going to be planting things throughout the spring, and then we're studying how indoor horticulture works.
I'm in a livestock production class at the moment, and right now we're learning about the different species and like their marketing, management, breeds, diseases, everything like that. And then we're going to go into like building feeders and pens and all that stuff to get hands-on experience.
Right now we have an online class that I'm enrolled in, and we're just we explore the different aspects of like the different CDEs and what you would do in them, and then just basic like levels of agriculture, I guess, or topics in agriculture.
Okay. Then of course with FFA week, just being a week to promote FFA involvement, membership, different things like that. I'll just have each of you kind of just give one or two reasons why you think people should get involved with FFA on their local level.
I'll start. It's a great way for people to explore different like career opportunities through all the different contests. And they also get to meet a bunch of new people and get that networking experience that they can use like throughout their life.
You get a lot of leadership opportunities. Like the three of us are officers in our chapters. We help plan things. And then there's also leadership development events like parliamentary procedures. So learning how to run a meeting effectively, and learning how to do public speaking. So it's definitely a benefit you get from FFA if you choose to do those things. And then, yeah, like Cole said, getting to meet people from all over. Like we do things at the state level, and you meet people you would have never met if you hadn't been in FFA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the opportunity to learn things or experience things that maybe you never thought you would have liked or been interested in, but then you went to a competition and you got to try it out and found out you really did like it. And just like learning random knowledge, which sounds weird in a sense, but like being in ag classes has taught me so many things that I never would have saw myself learning or doing, or like totally has pushed me out of my comfort zone in a great way.
Okay. And Marley, I know you're only a sophomore, but do you guys kind of know what you maybe want to do post high school, or has like FFA maybe pushed you into maybe a field in agriculture?
Yeah, definitely something like considering or keeping my options open. I don't really know exactly what I want to do, but definitely am interested.
How about you two?
I've definitely debated between the medical field and livestock because in the past few years I've gotten really fond of showing sheep, and I've kind of debated maybe starting my own club lamb business or show lamb business.
Yeah, I'm interested in being a dentist, but FFA has really taught me how much I really the floriculture kind of aspects. I really, so maybe the greenhouse industry would be a good opportunity as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, before we get going here, was there anything else you guys wanted to plug about FFA or anything else?
Mm, it's a great experience, so everybody should try it out at least once.
And then, of course, state coming up here. Are you guys attending this year?
Yep.
Yep. The
Um,
three of us are all qualified on the floriculture team. So we placed first at regionals, so we're gonna advance the state.
Awesome. Well, Cole, Madison, and Marley, thank you for the time here today. Happy FFA week to you guys as well, and just good luck over at the state competition.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Join us now, Melody Kempel with the Central Cast FFA chapter. For you, Melody, just what's one thing you really enjoy about the local chapter there in Castleton?
Something that I really enjoy about our chapter is the FFA meetings that we get to have every month. We have so many people from all different grades that come together on one day and just get to do so many different activities, like saran wrap balls on days or getting a handmade meal by Miss Gress.
For you, you mentioned the different age groups. So, what is the age group? Obviously, to a senior, to what is the youngest age group that someone can participate in FFA?
To be an FFA, all you have to do is be in an ag class. So all of our eighth graders can be in an ag class, and they're the youngest because they have the little starter out class.
Is that kind of how you got involved, or just take us through how you kind of got involved with your own FFA experience there?
Yeah, in eighth grade, I took our little intro class in eighth grade, and Miss Gress kind of, I don't know, she kind of just said, like, hey, you'd love doing this. So the next year I took intro to ag and later became part of our conduct team, which led me to a whole different bunch of opportunities with our club. Yeah.
I'll ask it to you this way, Melody. Did you ever think when you were growing up that you kind of be an FFA or be in something that is involved with ag growing up?
Kinda. I have a grandma that lives on a farm that we visit all the time. So it's kind of something that's been around, but I never thought I'd end up in FFA.
Just take us through. You mentioned with your grandparents. Is there any other family members or friends that you have, either learned about or had communication with now that you kind of talk FFA, on a daily or weekly basis, kind of now that you've been part of the FFA chapter for a few years?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of relatives that are in FFA down in Nebraska. And then around here, I do different activities. And then when I'm at another activity, I'll hear someone else is in FFA. And there's just like this whole different network of people that I'll meet through FFA that are in all my other activities.
How fun is it to talk with family members then that are in a different state? And how similar are their experiences to what your experiences are, even though you're, a couple hundred miles away, so to speak, in Nebraska compared to North Dakota?
Yeah, it's actually like very different from what they've heard. We have so many differences and very little similarities between. The only thing we really have similar are the events that we do, and that's kind of it.
At this point, what's your favorite memory or favorite part of FFA?
I think my favorite part is getting to compete in agronomy. It's my favorite competition, and just getting to learn all the different things associated with it has definitely been my favorite.
Okay, if someone has never been part of FFA before, how would you explain the agronomy competition portion to someone who's maybe a layman, so to speak, who's coming into it new for the first time?
I'd kind of just say it's a lot of memorizing because you have to memorize all the different plants, soils, seeds, equipment, everything to do with anything planting or crops or even weeds. It's just a lot of memorizing and knowing your stuff.
For you, Melody, what have you kind of learned from FFA that you've taken with just your normal walk to day-to-day life or your normal classes that you have out there at Central Cass?
One thing I've learned is always to be confident in what you know because a lot of times I've like second guessed myself on tests, but this has taught me that like I know what I know and to just be confident in myself.
As you move forward, why should someone give FFA a chance if they've never tried it out before?
Someone should definitely give it a chance because of all the amazing opportunities it gives. You have so many different leadership opportunities, scholarship opportunities, and just like meeting a whole different bunch of people. So it's also a great networking place.
Each year, is it something similar? You know, for example, if you're in a sport, you're used to start of the season with practices, playing your contest or wrestling, and then trying to make it to a state. Just take us through. Does it feel the same every year in terms of the calendar, or are you learning different things where each year that you've kind of been in it a little bit, Melody, that you're learning something new?
Yeah, every year I think I've learned something different because there are different competitions for different age groups. Because you'll start with LDEs and you can do like conduct or then green hand quiz and then go to quiz, or then you go to CDEs and do agronomy or ag sales or different things. So it's kind of just on a cycle, but different things depending on your age.
Awesome. Melody, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.
Joining us now, part of the Central Cast FFA chapter is Hayden Faliede here, a senior this year. Hayden, for you, just how long have you been part of FFA and just kind of what made you want to, get involved with it in the first place here in Castleton?
I've been part of FFA since eighth grade. What made me want to join is I've always been around agriculture my whole life and interested in it, so I want to pursue different things in agriculture, which FFA was just something that seemed right.
What's the one thing you've enjoyed most about your FFA chapter there in Castleton?
The thing I've enjoyed the most is competing in agronomy contests, which inspired me to pursue agronomy as a career later.
So let's go through that. You mentioned you're a senior, you're going to pursue agronomy. Just take us through North Dakota State College of Science and what is something you're looking forward to once you kind of get on campus and continue to learn about that particular skill set here once you get to college.
I'm looking forward to just learning new things, being able to take those things and put them towards a career. Uh, just excited to move on to the next part of life.
What made NDSCS just be kind of the right fit for you?
I like that it was a 2-year school, so I could get going out in the workforce earlier, and it just seemed like a right fit rather than a 4-year degree.
Hayden, did you kind of know you wanted to be an ag, I guess, growing up? Now that you're in FFA and you're pursuing something in agriculture going into college, was it always that was going to be kind of a background? And if so, at what age do you think you said, okay, the light bulb moment came on, I'm going to be an ag, at some point in my life full time after school?
Yeah, well, I always wanted to be a farmer as a kid, but don't really have too much connections to getting land. So then I thought a little more realistic and figured I'd go into something like agronomy. But I've always wanted to be in the ag field ever since I was a kid, and agronomy just felt like the right fit.
Give us something that you've learned outside of agronomy with FFA. What are some other things that you've kind of learned or just kind of had an opportunity to experience during your local FFA chapter in Castleton?
Things we've done are different leadership events, state leadership conference. That's always fun to go to. Get to meet a bunch of new people, learn different leadership skills, which you can apply later in life.
As you go from there, just take us through why should someone give their local FFA chapter a try in their local town, school district, wherever it might be?
I think you should give it a try because it gives you so many more opportunities. The only reason I want to be an agronomist is because of the agronomy competition we do here. So that is what has led me to choose that, and it gives you so many more opportunities with scholarships and then just getting to know people in that area.
Is it safe to say FFA is one big networking or melting pot? It seems like that's a word that you kind of get to hear, whether it's locally or across the state or regionally. Is that a fair assessment in kind of your particular experiences here, Hayden?
I'd say that's for sure.
What's
Sure.
one thing that if someone has never experienced FFA before and they get into it for the first time, how should they go about being a new member once they kind of get into their local chapter? What's something they should kind of get their feet wet, so to speak?
I think you should try to be involved as many things as you can just so you can have all those opportunities.
For you, Hayden, if someone hasn't been a member, is there a certain pitch that you give to someone, or is it just, hey, just come on down and price is right type of a deal?
More of a Price is Right kind of deal.
Hey, last question that I'll ask for you, Hayden. How much do you just talk about FFA or just agriculture in your day-to-day walk of life?
Every day, always talking about ag just because I'm so passionate about the whole field and everything there is with it.
Hey, Hayden, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck moving forward throughout the rest of your senior year and down in Wapaton once you get to college.
Thank you.
Ethan Richard joining us here, part of the Central Cass FFA chapter. And Ethan, first question is just kind of what have you enjoyed most about FFA and the local chapter there in Castleton?
My favorite event is winter CDEs. I do agronomy.
And then from there, what is something about FFA? If someone's never heard about it before or never had an opportunity to participate in a local chapter, why should someone give FFA a shot?
FFA is a great organization for learning about ag, and it's a lot of involvement opportunities. It's a good place to get to know your friends better and get to know people from all across the state from different schools.
Is FFA something for you, Ethan, that as you are a junior this year, you think you're going to have opportunities once you get out of high school to continue to use what you've learned in FFA moving forward? And if so, how do you think you're going to utilize those skill sets that you've learned?
Yes, I have learned leadership skills and different skills from competitions like agronomy and
Take us through the agronomy competitions. What are they kind of like for you?
it's a test that you do. You have to study and learn about different kind of seeds, crops, soils, uh, all kinds of useful information.
For you, what's your favorite part of FFA?
Probably agronomy.
Okay. And then how did you become a member? Just kind of what made FFA be something you wanted to learn more about?
I've always been around the ag and interested in ag, so it just feels natural to be an FFA.
Why, after kind of doing it, what would be a reason why someone should give it a shot for the first time if they haven't done it before?
It's a great organization to learn about. You can meet new people and lots of different activities for everyone to do.
How much is you have the community involvement with the school, but also just with the city of Castleton? How much do you get to have that opportunity to meet community members and talk with different folks outside of the FFA chapter that you're currently in?
There's lots of opportunity for different members to talk to donors, people from businesses, and different community events that we do.
Awesome. Well, Ethan, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Join us now from Central Cass's FFA chapter is Mr. Davis. And Davis, for you, just take us through how you got involved with FFA now that you've been through it for 3 years in your local chapter there.
Yeah. So just a lot of the community. My dad farms. My grandpa is really involved in FFA. It's how I kind of got involved.
How much have you kind of talked about FFA then growing up? Was it something you always kind of knew that you wanted to do, or were going to have an opportunity to partake in it then?
Oh yeah. It was always something I wanted to do and everything. But
What have you enjoyed most about your 3 years so far, Davis, with the local chapter?
um, probably some of the contests, like state convention, is really fun, and some of the contests in there.
What makes a state convention just unique or different compared to what you kind of get to do throughout the course of the year?
Well, for starters, it's just about a week long instead of a couple days, which that's a lot of fun. I got a lot more time to do a lot more stuff and everything. So,
What's your what is something that if someone joins FFA for the first time as a new member, what should be a certain area or what should they do to kind of get their feet wet?
I would say to go to fall leadership to start, and then to do some winter CD. It doesn't really matter exactly what, but just mainly get involved.
How fun is it to know that, as you mentioned, you had family members do it? How fun is it to, have that connection with them and see them with their local jackets or anything that resembles FFA? How fun is that for you?
It's great. I mean, I've got my grandpa's old jacket at home and everything. I don't know.
Have you put on the jacket before to see if it fits okay, Davis?
I have. I wore it to a meeting last year, I believe. Just
Okay.
for
And then from there, what's the community involvement? What's one thing you really like about the FFA chapter there in Central Cass in terms of what you do with the school district, but also in Castleton?
we're all kind of working together and everything. I don't know.
What's the one skill set that you think you've learned most so far through FFA?
So far, I've probably learned a lot about agronomy through FFA and everything.
And then what's something that you've kind of learned from the group that you take with you in your normal walk to day-to-day walk of life?
Guess I don't really know. I just learned so much and everything through it.
And then the last thing that I have for you here, Davis, is just what's one thing you enjoy most about networking or learning from your advisor, Hannah? Just what's something you've kind of learned from other people in the FFA chapter that you kind of just have seen from their aspects or what they've kind of teached you, or something you've been able to, bounce ideas off of people? What's something you learned from other folks in the chapter?
Well, it's hard to put a point on just one thing, but yeah, just I've gotten a lot better with communication through FFA and everything. I guess that's one thing.
Davis, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the school year.
Okay, thank you.
Joining us now is Max Olson. And for you, Max, what have you just enjoyed most about your local FFA chapter here at Central Cass?
Well, I've enjoyed just hanging out with all my friends and doing the agronomy CDE. I like going to state convention and like fall leadership conference. It's really fun doing that kind of stuff.
What's the one thing that's different with the Fall Leadership Conference that maybe isn't part of the normal day-to-day walk of life of FFA that you enjoy most about?
Well, you get to learn a lot about like leadership, like obviously because it's a leadership conference and stuff. You go all the way out to Bismarck and you stay the night out there in a hotel. And it's just fun being with all your friends out there.
Favorite part of FFA would be what, outside of maybe just kind of what you said in terms of what you enjoy, but what's your favorite part that you've done so far with FFA?
I really enjoyed the winter CDEs. I do agronomy. It's really fun. Like a bunch of my friends are in it. And other than that, I really like state convention, staying at NDSU for a week because it's just a lot of fun.
What's the best way to describe a winter CDE if someone hasn't ever heard about that before or is just getting into it for the first time and coming out and seeing what it's about?
Well, for agronomy, you're just like learning the seeds, looking at plant mounts, stuff like that. And you guys gotta guess what's what and stuff.
What would be a skill set do you think that you've taken from the local chapter with you to your normal day-to-day walk of life? What's something you've learned that you've taken with you outside of the FFA chapter?
I've learned a lot about communication and teamwork, just working with my other people in the chapter, just working out like problem solving and stuff like that.
Why should someone give FFA an opportunity in their town or their local school?
I think FFA is a great opportunity just to like learn new skills like teamwork and communication that you could use in your everyday life in the future, like working at the job site or whatever. It's just a great opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
Max, how much are you talking about AG or just FFA in your day-to-day walk of life here outside of the local FFA chapter?
Well, I talk about it most of the time because my grandpa, my dad, and my brother we all farm. So
Have you kind of just always FFA just kind of always been something that's been brought up in terms of conversation or what's going on at the school? And then how fun is it to know that you've had family members kind of be in your similar spot over their years?
it's pretty fun knowing that people of like my dad and my brother were in FFA, and we can talk about that kind of stuff and stuff like that.
Do they go through some of their memories and is it kind of similar to what you kind of are experiencing right now?
Yeah, my dad talks a lot about his like he went out to like Washington DC for a couple things and he thought that was really fun. So he hopes I get to do that and have the same experience as he did.
Max, final thing for me. What's the one thing you're looking forward to most for the rest of the year here before the school year kind of wraps up from an FFA point of view?
I'm looking forward to state FFA competition and just doing well there.
Hey, Max, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
Joining us now, Camden Davis here for Central Cass. Camden, just take us through what kind of got you into your local FFA chapter out there in Central Cass.
What really got me into the FFA was seeing my sister doing all of her events and then wanting to also do those events.
And then for you, Camden, how much older is your sister, and are you currently in the same chapter with her, or is she already graduated?
She's a senior and she's not doing FFA anymore.
Okay, so what made her experiences be something you wanted to learn more about or have an opportunity to kind of get your feet wet with the local chapter?
Seeing the banquet in the spring and seeing how like nicely they work together.
For you, what's a favorite part of the FFA that you've kind of learned so far through, your second year with the chapter?
My favorite part is like how like willing people are to work with you and help you get better at your events.
And then what's an event or two that you've had the opportunity to participate in so far?
I did conduct of chapters in the fall, and then I'm currently working on ag sales.
Okay. Which one do you like so far? Excels or the conduct after you did that in the fall?
I honestly kind of prefer conduct of chapters just because you get to work with more people and work as a team.
As you go from there, how did you become a FFA member? Just kind of take us through your experience. I mean, you kind of mentioned already with your sister, but what was another reason or something that you kind of just learned more about that you wanted to give FFA a chance here, Camden?
Uh, Getting to know the teacher before I had her class, and then like her explaining what it was to me.
Why should someone give FFA an opportunity?
Because you build a relationship with the people that are in it, and then that relationship is pushed outside of FFA, and then you always have people to count on.
How fun has it been for you, Camden, just to kind of network with whether it's been with people within your own school or those of other schools once you got to have an opportunity to join your local chapter?
I'd say it's been pretty fun.
And then, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to here to close out the end of the year with the FFA group over the next couple months?
Um, Probably finishing ag sales and then going to a bunch of places to show what I've learned.
Hey, Camden, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the school year.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Your Live Event FFA show. I'm joined by members of the Hope Page FFA program. We've got Micah, Magen, and Cynthia joining us here. Thank you guys for taking some time. And let's start with Micah. Just how did you get involved in FFA? What was it like getting involved in the program? How did you join?
I got involved in FFA because it was kind of what everybody was doing. I mostly got involved because my older sister and my older brother did FFA before me, and everybody was doing it. So I thought that I'd better give it a go and see what it's all about. And that's kind of the main reason that I got into FFA. But continuing through FFA, I've seen what FFA truly means, how it's about leadership and growth and improving as a person and with those around you. So I've gotten into FFA because of the others around me.
Yeah, we'll just keep going down the line with that same question, how you ended up joining into the FFA program.
So I joined around my 8th grade year. I joined mainly because my other classmates were also in FFA at the time. And since I was so young and new to everything that was going around me, our middle school and high school were kind of connected together. So I was just new to everything at the time, and I wanted to do as much as possible. And as I got into more, I found what I really enjoyed about FFA, what my preferences are. And now, as my first year of being an officer, I'm really looking forward to what's to come and hopefully allowing others to experience the same things that I've done.
I joined FFA my 7th grade year because I kind of wanted to try everything out when I first got to high school, and FFA was a big part of our community. And throughout, FFA has really boosted my confidence in it, and that's about it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. What are some things that you guys have learned, some skills that you've developed over your time in FFA?
I'd say the skills I've learned through FFA, the big one is communication skills, really working with other people, how you communicate and communicating efficiently and properly has really been one of the biggest skills I've learned through FFA. Just going to workshops, meeting new people, sometimes organizing events as an officer. It's been a lot of communication works that FFA has truly grown within me.
Some skills I learned definitely were leadership, but also importantly communication. I've learned to speak up for myself, got more confident in myself. I was very shy at the time when I joined. I am very much an introverted person and sometimes struggle with communication and talking to others. So just by doing FFA, joining competitions and meeting new people, I've learned a lot by that. I've met some really great people, especially the officers that we've had for the past few years. They've been just amazing. And so FFA definitely has helped me come out of my shell and just learn to, be the person I can definitely be in the future.
In FFA, I've definitely learned how to speak out more, and it's really boosted my confidence. And I learned how to work in teams a lot better because when I was first joined, I really did not like working with people. And doing competitions has really taught me a lot of life skills throughout.
Yeah, for sure. And talk to me about some of the competitions you've been involved in or events that you've specifically liked so far.
I'd say probably the event that I enjoyed the most was our summer CD called ENR, Environmental and Natural Resources. And basically, through this event, you work on animal and native plant identification. But then also, there's a yearly switching section that either focuses on water management, trash management, or GPS and location and environmental systems. And I really enjoy it because each new year it brings something new to the competition, and it's really just a big focus on the natural world.
Probably some of my favorite competitions had to come from the LDEs that are held in December at Minot. The Green Hand and Advanced Quiz definitely help test your knowledge about FFA and are just super fun to do as well. We also, our first year doing Parley Pro as well and just parliamentary procedure was really fun to do as well. And as for state CDs as well, in June, I done floriculture, which is really fun, getting to learn about plants, identifying them, and being able to make your own like bouquets have been just really fun, and I've enjoyed it a lot. So those are definitely some of my favorite competitions.
I've personally only done 2 competitions, and that was parliamentary procedure and milk quality. And I think milk quality was definitely my favorite of those 2 because it taught me a whole bunch about dairy animals, and I got to interact with students in my class and older, and it really helped to develop skills with them.
Yeah. What is the FFA community and culture been like? Just getting to know some friends through there, whether it's the advisors and mentors or just the people that you've met for classmates along the way.
I'd say the FFA culture is about having a good time, but also putting in hard work. A lot of the times you'll see FFA members throughout our nation who have done specific things, and FFA is really focusing on hard work and making sure that you strive to build up your personal self and others around you, but then also having a good time while you're working hard.
I would say the FFA culture, it's kind of like a huge, big family, in my personal opinion, with all the advisors, officers, and all of the members that gather around just to do FFA in general. FFA, well, we do celebrate agriculture, and that's what we strive for. We also strive just for communication in general. Again, having people from all across the United States come together to do different competitions and getting to know others is just super fun. Here in North Dakota, we're kind of a smaller group, but still, it's so fun seeing people, not just from my school, but from other schools, doing these competitions and meeting people. I would say, especially in FFA camp here as well, it's just so fun with just, again, all the people, I would say.
I think I'd say about the same. FFA communities are super fun, and all these events you go to, you meet a lot of different people, and definitely being an officer gives you a lot more opportunities to meet people around your age that kind of more so know what's going on in FFA, and it's really fun to get to know them and to make friends from all around this country.
Yeah. If someone's on the fence about joining FFA, why would you recommend they join?
Well, the first thing I would tell them is that you get to get out of school. That would be the very first thing I would tell someone about joining the FFA. But then once you get them to the event, once you get them out of school, the whole reason you went, a lot of times, especially for me, I was able to finally see the purpose for the events and truly grow myself in all personal qualities that I value. So if someone who is on the fence about joining FFA, I would first encourage them to do it because you get to skip school. But then eventually, as you go through more events, you really learn what FFA is mostly about.
I would say probably the same thing as Micah. Definitely hooking them in with getting out of school, especially if they're, a younger kid and stuff, kids, wanting to skip school and all. But also, just try it. See, if you enjoy it or not. That's kind of my philosophy and what I've done throughout my time in school. If I see something that I'm not sure if I may enjoy or not, I just give it a try and see, if I enjoyed it, maybe I'll do it again. And if I didn't, then, well, I didn't enjoy it. Obviously, not everyone is going to like the same thing as everyone else, but I still think it's very important, to at least try, something new, trying to get out of that comfort zone of yours and see maybe if you find something you might really enjoy, you might really like. Maybe you found a secret, hobby you might have never figured out before.
I would definitely point out how many different opportunities there are in agriculture and how many different events you can look at because there's always going to be something for somebody. And definitely getting out of school is a big part of that. And during the summer, it definitely gives you something to do if you don't really have many plans during the summer. There's always state FFA. And it's definitely a lot of fun. I would show them some past experiences that we've had in our FFA community.
Absolutely. Well, Micah, Megan, Cynthia, thanks for taking a little bit of time to join us here, and thanks for being a part of FFA. We appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome to the Your Live Event FFA interview show. I've got members of the Hope Page FFA group with me. I've got Emersen, Danelle, and Hazel here with me. So thank you guys for joining. And first, just start off by telling us how you guys got introduced to FFA and how you've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, so I joined my 7th grade year, so right away when I got into high school. A lot of the motivation for me to join came from my older sister, Lily. She was involved in FFA right from the start, from when our chapter was founded. And she really pushed me to try it out. I wasn't really sure about it first, but I definitely have never looked back. It's something that I've grown very passionate about. So, yeah.
I joined my end of 7th grade year and started doing stuff in 8th grade year. I joined because of our old A teacher. She pushed me out of my comfort zone and made me do stuff that I thought I couldn't do. So, yeah.
I joined right along with Emersen. So we both in our 7th grade year, and I think it was a new opportunity we were looking forward to having, and both of our siblings were in FFA, so we've heard a lot from them. And our ag teacher also really pushed us to join it. So,
what activities have you guys been involved in? What skills have you been developing along the way?
I've been involved in pretty much every event that there is since my 8th grade year. I wasn't very involved in my 7th grade year, but then I really started to get interested in what FFA was all about. I started with probably Green Hand Quiz was my first. And then I moved on to egg sales in the winter and small animal care in the summer, which is my favorite event. And FFA just has helped me, and I know lots of other people, learn confidence and leadership building skills and learning to empower others and just trust yourself. So, yeah.
Excuse me. I had done livestock judging, and I think that's really it because last year there wasn't an advisor, so it's hard to do a couple things. But I really like livestock judging, and this year I'm going to attempt doing egg sales. So, yeah.
I've done quite a few of events. So I also started with the Green Hand Quiz. That really piqued my interest. And then I've tried a lot of different ones at our state conventions. So, but by far my favorite has been floriculture, which I really enjoy. And it's taught me so much about leadership and everything.
What's something that you've picked up from advisors or mentors along the way?
I think that both of the advisors that I've had really take the time out of their day to understand the needs of their students and empower their students and give us confidence. Without either of our advisors, I definitely probably would not be an FFA and I would be missing out on a lot. So
they really gave me a lot of confidence and to get out there and like it's okay. Like you don't have to be so scared about stuff and not think what other people think. Like it's okay. So yeah.
They've really pushed me out of my comfort zone. I was a fairly shy kid. So when I joined FFA, they pushed me to go talk to new people and try new things. So it shows to me their dedication to FFA and how much they love each and every student they teach and their passion for FFA.
What's the FFA community like overall, just being around the different events and getting to know people in the FFA culture? What has that been like?
Yeah, I would say that FFA, basically every event that I ever go to, it's a very positive and energetic atmosphere. You can tell that everybody really wants to be there. Everyone's so glad to see everyone. I've met so many friends through FFA, so many friends that I talk to today, like on a daily basis. And I think it's just overall, it's like a really great experience.
I would say they're very, very supportive and they like want to help us, even like help us a lot and everything. And like how she said, everyone's like outgoing and when we go to events, everyone wants to be there. So yeah.
Yeah, there's some amazing people who are in FFA. I guess everyone who I've met in FFA has wanted to be there. So you shouldn't let it scare you if they won't like you, because they're there for the same reason as you, to meet new people and gain new opportunities.
For sure. And why should someone join FFA if they're on the fence or considering about it?
I think that you should join FFA because it gives you just so many lifelong friends and experiences. And it's never something that you will like look back and regret doing. It will always be something like that you're thankful for that you did do.
I would say that like it's a very supporting like chapter and like people and everything. So people, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like everyone's supportive and could help you get through like hard times in life and like they like distract you from things that are actually going on. So I think it's just basically like a big, big family. So yeah.
I would say to step out of your comfort zone, because something I feel like we all experienced when growing up is we want to stay where we're comfortable. And I think it's really important for everybody to step out of that comfort zone and try new things, no matter how much they're told it, because I'm sure they're sick of hearing it, but they really should join FFA to experience that.
And lastly, reminisce on some of your favorite memories through FFA that you've had so far.
I think that a lot of my favorite memories definitely are sources from FFA camp. I can't advocate for FFA camp enough. It's definitely my favorite event. I've met so many friends in FFA. You get to bond with the state officers, past state officers. You get to hang out with your chapter. It's just so much fun. I have so many fond memories with members of our chapter, especially Hazel. There's a couple stories there with canoes and getting stuck in the river. So.
I would say fall leadership this year. It was super, super fun. I met so many new people and the dance was especially fun. And then it like, I know we had to sit down and listen, but the people that talked gave me some really good advice and everything. And I kept it with me while I'm keep doing stuff in the chapter and everything. So yeah.
I love both of those events, but I would say the state convention, because you can meet so many new people just sitting in the lounge area while you're waiting for your events. And they have a dance one night that you can go and talk and hang out with people. So there's so many great experiences that are at state convention.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Hazel, Danelle, Emersen, for joining us here on FFA Week. We appreciate you guys and continue to keep learning.
All right, thank you.
It's National FFA Week, and we're celebrating it by interviewing some local FFA members. And we got 3 members from the Carrington FFA chapter. Thanks for joining us here. We got Bailey Ness, and she is secretary for the Carrington FFA chapter. Also, Abby Lee, vice president, sitting in the middle, and Callie Hansen, reporter. So, thanks so much for joining us here, and we want to recognize the FFA chapter. As focus on Carrington here right now, and see what you guys all are part of the chapter and what it's all your favorite part of the FFA and everything. So. Bailey, we're going to start with you. First up here, maybe, talk about what FFA week is and why it's so important.
Okay, yeah, it's celebrated in correspondence with like George Washington's birthday, and it's just a week for awareness of FFA and just getting it out there. And it's important because it does bring a lot of new people in, and it's also just like a fun thing to let your school and community know about FFA and what we all do.
Abby and Callie, did you guys have anything to add at all?
Yeah, I know that our chapter puts on a lot of activities throughout the week, especially for a lot of the people in our school, not just FFA members. So things like we have a glow-in-the-dark dodgeball tournament and having breakfast for the teachers, just so we as the FFA chapter can do things for our school as well.
Okay, good deal. Bailey, how does your chapter, the Carrington chapter, celebrate FFA week?
Well, majority of the time we do like snacks for teachers, and then as Callie said before, we do glow-in-the-dark dodgeball, and I think last year we did like a little activity during lunch, and usually at the end of the week the officers serve gelato during lunch for all the kids in the school. So we just do a bunch of fun activities. Yeah, and last year during our Glow in the Dark Dodgeball, we had the opportunity to have one of our national FFA officers come, and that was really good because we had non-FFA members participate in that, and it was just a great way for them to learn more about FFA. And we just do a lot in our like chapter, and we expand with our school and just make sure that they learn more about FFA.
Okay, awesome. And we should ask too, how long you've been in FFA. Bailey, how long have you been Carrington FFA member?
Since my freshman year, so 4 years.
Okay.
Me as well.
I started in 8th grade, so this will be my 3rd year.
Okay, awesome. Tell us why you decided to join FFA, Bailey.
I joined FFA because Abby actually drugged me to a meeting and said it would be fun, and I've been doing it ever since.
Okay.
Well, I have 4 older siblings that have all done FFA, and it was kind of like eye-opening for them, and they got to learn a bunch of new things, and so I thought that I would do the same. So that was pretty much why.
So obviously my mom is our ag teacher, and so as a kid I got to go along to a lot of different FFA things and see how fun they were for other people. So I was excited to get to start that, as well as my family's very involved in agriculture. So just getting to use those skills in an organization is really fun.
Okay, awesome. What events, competitions do you participate throughout the year in FFA?
Well, we have LDs and then winter CDs and then like state CDs during June. But I participate in parliamentary procedure, advanced quiz, and then agricultural sales, farm business management, and nursery landscape. And then this year I had the opportunity to compete at the national competition with farm business management, and as a team we got 4th. And I've kind of done just like a lot of the similar things that she has. I've dipped my feet in probably almost any different category of FFA events, and I've also done like Washington Leadership Conference, and I got to go to Next Gen last year. And so I just kind of pretty much do any event that we have at our school.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite thing I've gotten to do was livestock judging, because I kind of grew up in that, and we ended up doing pretty well in that. And then other things I've done is demonstration, parliamentary procedure, meats judging, egg communications, and yeah, like them, there was a lot more too, but those are some of my favorites.
How has FFA helped you grow as a leader, Bailey?
I think it's really helped me grow to be more like confident and be able to like talk to people
without being like scared or stuttering a lot. But it's just helped me grow as a person, and obviously as a leader, I'm just better talking to people and being more outgoing. In FFA, I kind of held my first leadership position as an officer, and that really helped me, just like Bailey said, be more confident in myself. Like I had never really done any public speaking before, and now I would say that I'm probably very good at it, better than I was freshman year. So it's just kind of helped me grow as a leader and meet new people and such like that.
Yeah, I'd say like usually I'm the type of person who kind of like take charge and stuff like that, but it's helped me learn how to work better in a team, especially being an officer. And yeah, just getting to network with other people and meet a lot of different people helps you be able to learn how to make conversation.
Great. Awesome. Favorite part of being an FFA member?
I love meeting like all the new people and making friends like with people throughout the state and throughout the nation. I've just met a lot of really cool people that I will talk to probably the rest of my life. My favorite part of being an FFA member would probably be the opportunities that FFA has given me because as I said, like I've gotten to go to a lot of different conferences. Like I got to go to Washington, D.C., I've been to Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, and like as I go to those things, I get to meet people that I probably never would have met, and I get to network with individuals that aren't in the same community as me, and that's been really beneficial for me, and I really love doing that.
I'd say along those same lines of like there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of new people, but the special part about it is that the going to those places with those people, they all kind of have the same interests as you in agriculture or maybe doing the same contest as you and things like that. So it's cool to be around people who like the same things and want to learn just like you.
Great job. How does FFA Week help promote like agriculture education?
I think it really helps promote like what you can do outside of just the classroom. Like when you take agricultural education classes, like you don't have to just stop at the classroom. You can do competitive events, you can do community service and go to these conferences to help you become a better person. I think it just really helps raise awareness for what you can do outside of just the classroom. One thing that we are thinking about doing during National FFA Week is going to the elementary school and giving them a book called What's in My Lunchbox. And that book really helps them learn how agriculture benefits them and how they get food on their plate. And so we're probably gonna end up doing that during National FFA Week just to show awareness of agriculture and show them where their food comes from.
Yeah, I think FFA week is really important for a lot of FFA chapters just because not only within the school and the students, but our community as well. You know, there's things like this and different ways that FFA is spotlighted. So hopefully there's other kids or people that want to learn more about it and maybe even want to take an ed class one day.
Okay, a couple more questions before we let you go here. How does FFA Week impact your school or even the community, Carrington community?
I think it really opens up a lot of opportunities for kids to meet like grown-ups that are involved in the agricultural community. And it also gives a lot of kids in our school like the chance to learn more about FFA, maybe get a little more excited for competitions or like other events we do. And also we just do some fun activities that the students really enjoy. Yeah, Bailey pretty much answered that question. Just like we get to reach out with people in our community and then they can help us and we can help them.
Yeah, I think that our FFA chapter for sure we've had a lot of success and we're pretty like we do a lot of things within it. So it's fun to have a week where we kind of get spotlighted and students are kind of paying attention to what we're doing. And I think that's really good for our members to get recognized within our school and community.
Okay, most favorite memory during FFA Week or just FFA in general?
I think the most memorable like experience was going on stage for farm business management at the national convention. That was pretty awesome. My most memorable FFA week memory would probably be meeting the national officer and her coming to our community and teaching us stuff that she does. And it was just very like eye-opening for all of us officers because we got to talk with her.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite FFA week memory. Last year we had hobby horsing, and that was pretty fun to watch. But my favorite FFA memory in general was getting to go to Scotland with my livestock judging team.
All right, awesome. Well, you did very well. Thank you so much for joining us here on your live event. And thanks for informing us what the local Carrington chapter does here for FFA and everything, and involvement in the community and all the projects and everything that you do. So we really appreciate it. And thanks again for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Joining us now is Becca Fiesel here from Kindred. And Becca, number one, what got you into FFA? And number two, kind of how long have you been part of the local chapter there in Kindred?
I think mainly what got me into FFA was when I was in 8th grade and we did an 8th grade ag class. One of our ag teachers, Mrs. Len, she pulled a bunch of kids aside and she was like, hey, there's this contest that we think you'd be really good at, so you should try it. And so I ended up signing up and I ended up doing the contest and it was pretty good. And then I just kept doing more and more contests. And I had a lot of people who encouraged me to sign up for things, so that really helped.
What's one thing about FFA that you've really enjoyed, whether it's maybe competing or judging or just learning more about, FFA in general here?
I think the thing I most enjoyed so far is definitely competing because there's so many different events and you have so many chances to do well in those events. And I think that's really fun to try to do.
Becca, take us through some of those events. What are some of the competitions that you've competed at so far?
Competitions that I've competed, I did conduct of chapter meetings, I did parliamentary procedure, I did food science, I did small animal care / vet science, and I also did quiz.
Out of those, which one is your favorite?
I think I would have to say either quiz or food science. I really like quiz because I was really good at it and it was pretty easy for me because I find memorizing things pretty easy. And food science I really liked because it was a competition that I signed up on a whim because they needed more people and I actually really enjoyed it.
Between quiz and food science, is there a lot of similarities or are there a little bit of differences, so to speak, between the two competitions?
I think the only similarity is that there's a test and that's about it.
For you, Becca, moving forward here, what are some skills that you've kind of learned that you take with you outside of your FFA chapter in your normal day-to-day walk of life?
Some skills I've learned are probably leadership and learning how to work with a group, especially in most events in FFA require you to have to work as a group, but like parliamentary procedure, or even there's a team event in food science, you have to work as a group in order to be successful. And so I think doing those events has really helped me learn how to do more group projects and stuff.
As you move forward here throughout this year on the school calendar, is there anything with the FFA chapter that you're looking forward to, whether it's state or maybe another competition before you kind of wrap up the year here?
I'm definitely looking forward to state convention again. I went the last year and it was really fun and it's really going to be really cool because there's new events that I really want to do and I think it's going to be really fun.
What is state convention like that's a little bit different compared to what you normally do a week-to-week basis, with the FFA chapter?
Well, for starters, you stay in the NDSU dorms. So that was a pretty new experience. It got me to have sort of insight to what college life was like. You ate on campus. And then there was different sessions and they had different activities that went on at night. So you could go to those, you did contests. And so I think that was pretty cool.
For you, Becca, at this point to date, what's a favorite memory or two that stands about the rest in terms of working, whether it's within the community or just national or regional here with your FFA chapter?
I have two favorites. One of my favorites was competing at Nationals for Vet Science. It was really fun because doing an event like that at a national level surrounded by people who are really good and an event that's that big was really fun to be a part of. And Indianapolis is a really cool place that we got to visit. And my second one was I actually won quiz at state, which was really fun because I know I studied a lot. And so I think those are my top two favorites.
What was it like being part of the team that finished in the top 10 at, again, veterinary science at nationals?
Oh, it was unexpected for me. because because at state we have small animal care, and then nationals it's vet science, so it's kind of a completely different contest. So you have to learn more things. It's a little more complicated, and I felt that it was kind of like cramming to me because I was studying, and like didn't know things, but we ended up doing really well, and I think our studying really paid off.
Final thing that I have for you, Becca, just why should someone give FFA an opportunity if it presents itself to be part of the Kindred chapter or just any chapter, across the state here?
Reasons that someone should get involved in FFA is there's so many different contests as they can try, and being in high school, you probably don't know what you want to do in life, and doing these contests not only does it let you gain valuable skills for the future, it allows you to possibly figure out what you want to do in life, because you might find out that you really enjoy this topic doing an event.
Hey, Becca, thanks so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the school year, and best of luck at state.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Clare Weber, part of the Kindred FFA chapter. Clare, just kind of take us through your journey into FFA, how you got started, and kind of roughly how long you've been with the local chapter there in Kindred.
Yeah, so I've been participating in FFA for about 3 years, but I actually started to join FFA because of my older sister, Emmanuel. She was the first one in my family to be an FFA member, and I really looked up to her, and I really admired how she did that. So I'm still kind of first generation of FFA member, but I've known about FFA my whole life, and I've always kind of wanted to be involved. So when I was able to join, that was definitely the first thing I signed up for.
Take us through with your sister, kind of what were some conversations, leading up to you joining FFA, and how much do you still talk with her about FFA, now that you've been in the chapter for a couple of years?
Yeah, so my sister was the one who encouraged me the most to join FFA. She joined FFA actually a little bit later. She joined her sophomore year. So I've been in it, before she has. And it was a really great thing to know what I was getting into before I was, actually doing it. She was a huge role model for me. Everything she did, I wanted to compete in because I knew that she had done it before and that she was going to be able to help me. My parents were always pushing her to do more things. So that just kind of pushed her to make me do more things. And it's really nice to be able to talk to her about it because she knows what she's doing. And she was chapter president her senior year. And it was just an amazing experience being in the FFA chapter as she was leading it.
As you look at it, Clare, what are some competitions or what are some things that you've judged, that you've really enjoyed so far here with FFA?
Yeah, I've done creed speaking. I've competed in parliamentary procedure. This year I did employment skills, and I also do agricultural communications, and I did animal science last year. But my favorite is definitely parliamentary procedure. That has been my favorite. Basically, you just run a meeting, very professionally, have different motions, different kinds of things. But it's really good. It's helped with my public speaking skills and how I can communicate with my team members better and my debating skills. That's definitely been my top competition so far.
When you go through, you mentioned the skills that you picked up. What are some other skills that you've learned that kind of you use on your normal day-to-day, walk of life that's outside of the FFA chapter?
Yeah, definitely my leadership and teamwork skills. Leadership has been a huge one that I learned, especially being chapter secretary this year. I've really learned a lot on how I can work with my team, but also lead them with needed. Teamwork is a super important thing in FFA. Almost every single contest is a teamwork kind of thing. And it's really good to know how to work with your peers and have those conversations that might be hard in your contest, but it's really good to talk about so you can have a smooth running team.
As you go to I would say to date, what's a favorite memory? Maybe it's competition, maybe it's just hanging out with other FFA members. What's a favorite memory or two that comes to mind when you think about FFA, Clare?
My favorite memory is definitely going to nationals just this last year in October. It was such an amazing experience. We got to spend a week in Indiana. I got very close with my vet science team. It was amazing getting to know them better. We stopped at a lot of different places and I got to see and experience a lot of things that I never have before. And I got to meet people from all over the United States, which was such an amazing experience.
Why should someone, whether it's the Kindred chapter or maybe just in their backyard, Clare, why should someone, give FFA an opportunity if the opportunity presents itself?
I think it's an amazing way to meet new people and to learn a lot of skills that, you've never had before. A lot of people think that FFA is just about farmers and really only farmers can be in it, but it is so much more than that. I do not even come from a farming family, and it has been such an amazing experience for me. I've met so many good friends. My advisors are some of the most amazing people I've ever met, and I love coming down to the ag hallway and going to contests. It's just such an amazing experience.
Final thing that I have, Claire, what are you most looking forward to kind of close out the year here? But what are you most looking forward to the next couple months with your local FFA chapter with what's on the calendar?
I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is probably state convention. That's actually right after school ends. So we still have a little bit of time for that, but it is one of my favorite things to do. Last year I competed in 2 events and it was a really great learning experience for me. We spent a week at NDSU, and I also just got to get a lot closer with my peers and my other FFA members.
Claire, thanks so much for your time and best of luck the rest of the school year here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Joining us here from the Kindred FFA chapter is Kamryn Halverson here. And for you, Kamryn, just what's one thing that got you into FFA and what do you enjoy most about the local chapter there in Kindred?
Yeah, so what really got me into FFA was my friends. They started doing it, and then they really persuaded me to get into it. So that's the main thing. And I had some other family members that were in it before me, so I knew of FFA and I knew kind of what it was about. So I was already interested in joining it, and I just really love our chapter. The Kindred chapter is just so close. We all get along so well, and it's like a tight-knit family almost with all of our members.
For you, Kamryn, how much does FFA just kind of get chatted about then in terms of family, friends? How much are you talking about the chapter just throughout the day-to-day process?
FFA comes up quite a bit with all of the things we get to do. I tell my parents all the time, but I'm going to be gone this weekend, or I get to go. I'm going to Washington, D.C. this summer, so we've been talking about that. Yeah, and most of my friends are in FFA too, so it comes up a lot wherever I am.
You mentioned DC. What are you most looking forward to once you get out to the nation's capital, and have you been out there before?
Yeah, so I have not been there before, so I'm really excited just to get to see a new place in the first place. And I'm really excited to just meet new people and work on my leadership skills, and getting to see the Capitol will be really cool. So I'm excited for all parts of it.
For you, Kamryn, what's a competition judging? Just what are some things that you've been involved with in your local Kindred FFA chapter?
Yeah, so I've done parliamentary procedures, so like running a meeting. I do egg sales. I've done small animal care and vet science. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
What out of those competitions, is there one that you really enjoyed more so than the other?
Yeah, I think egg sales is one of my favorites, and I also really enjoyed vet science. Being able to work on those skills, they have such a different skill set in both of those competitions, so it really helps me prepare for my future in a lot of different ways.
For you, Kamryn, too, being part of that vet science, I think finishing the top 10 at the Nationals here this past fall. So what was it like to kind of go to Nationals #1, but also a place in the top 10, across all FFA chapters?
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. Even just at the state level, competing in small animal care, we really didn't expect to win at state. And then getting to nationals and getting top 10 was just a crazy experience. My whole team studied very hard and we really prepared a lot. So it was really cool to see our hard work pay off. And national convention as a whole was a super cool experience.
Take us through veterinary science. If someone hasn't heard about that before in terms of FFA, Kamryn, what's the best way to explain what you guys were doing as yourself and as a team?
Yeah, so we did a lot of animal identification. We did influenza was a big topic because it's such a big thing going on right now in the livestock industry. So we learned a lot about that. Yeah, and just like what it takes to be a vet. There's so many different parts of it, learning about the ways that animals work, like the anatomy of animals, just everything you can think of about an animal, and that's really what it was about.
Why should someone give FFA an opportunity here, Kamryn, if they haven't heard about it before, or maybe like you kind of spoke about with some of your friends trying to, make your way to a local chapter? Why should someone give FFA a shot?
Yeah, so many people think FFA is just about farming or agriculture, but there's so much more to it. It's really very well for your future. The skills that you learn just can help you for so long, and getting to talk to people who have been in FFA in their past and seeing how it's still helping them today is really cool to see, and it just shows that FFA will really pay off through your whole life, and it's so much more than just farming.
Final thing that I have for you, Kamryn, what are some skill sets that you've taken with you in your normal walk-to-walk, day-to-day life that you've garnered and kind of learned through FFA so far?
Yeah, leadership is a big one. There's so many different things in FFA that help you with your leadership skills. There's district leadership in Bismarck. Going to Washington, D.C. this summer is a big leadership convention. So there's so many parts of FFA that help you with your leadership skills, and you need leadership in so many aspects of your life as well. So it really prepares you well for that. And also public speaking. Almost every event in FFA helps you with public speaking in some way, which is a very big skill that you need in your life. So those are some big ones that FFA brings you.
Kamryn, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck throughout the rest of the year and enjoy the trip out to DC.
Thank you. I will.
Join us now, part of the Kindred FFA chapter, is Grace Cook, a junior this year at Kindred. And Grace, just take us through what got you into FFA and kind of roughly how long have you been involved with the local Kindred chapter?
I've been involved myself in the chapter for about 5 years, but I've been around this FFA chapter since I was born. My parents are very involved in FFA. In fact, that's how they met. So I've been around the FFA my whole life. I've gone to booster meetings when I was a little kid. And FFA is just something that's really special in my life. It's super meaningful, and I'm so proud to be able to be a part of this chapter.
For you, Grace, then with your family being part of it, how much does FFA get spoken about at the dinner table, just throughout the week? How much are your family and yourself talking about FFA?
FFA definitely gets talked about a lot, especially when it's contest seasons coming up, having to tell my parents, oh, I'll be on for this FFA practice. Or we just had Commitment to Corduroy, which was our big fundraising event, and my parents helped run that. So our house has been very FFA focused for the last couple weeks. But yeah, it's definitely something that gets brought up a lot.
What are some of the competitions, or what are some of the areas that you've competed at or maybe even judged at so far with FFA?
With FFA, I've done a variety of different competitions. I did creed speaking. I did livestock judging for a long time, and I've recently switched over to ag sales. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Our first competition is next weekend. I've done nursery landscape and a variety of other super fun events.
What's one competition or what's one judging event that you enjoyed the most so far to this date?
I think I definitely enjoyed creed speaking a lot. Speaking the FFA creed was something I was super proud to do. You get to show how much FFA means to you, and you get to tell a variety of judges and just show how important the FFA is and why we do what we do. And it was just a really inspiring event that just kind of in my heart and soul solidified what FFA is and why we do what we do.
As you go from here, what's a favorite memory or two? Maybe it's something within the community. Maybe it's going to a state competition or something a little bit bigger or smaller, Grace. So what's a FFA memory or two that you really enjoy?
An FFA memory that I really enjoy is I really love our Commitment to Corduroy that I mentioned earlier, our big fundraising event. It's something that not really any other chapter does, like even across the nation. And it's just really cool that we have such a supportive community that's willing to come together and donate to our chapter. And then another really fun event was I didn't compete at nationals, but I had the opportunity to tag along. And it was such a fun experience to be in one room, one building with all of the FFA members across the nation. It was just a really cool experience to be down there, and I met so many new people, and our chapter definitely grew a closer bond through that experience.
For you, Grace, just take us through, you mentioned kind of the fundraiser, just take us through that event, how to kind of get, brought up, spearheaded, and what's it all about?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure when Commitment to Corduroy came to be, but our FFA chapter, our boosters or their alumni, but we call them boosters, they wanted to do something to give back to us and just help us and give us a boost. So we were able to do work to our full potential. So this Commitment to Corduroy came around where different businesses will donate things, like there's blankets or there's like a kit or different items like that. And there's a silent auction and a live auction. So then the live auctions, like your bigger items, like this year there was a painting that my aunt actually did that was on the live auction. There was tickets for the Red River Valley Fair that are on the live auction, and also like a lake kit set. And then some of the silent auction stuff was there was multiple blankets, there was a snack kit and other things like that. And then we also had booths set up where you could donate to WLC, which is Washington Leadership Conference, which 4 of us FFA members are going on. So we'll go to the Capitol and we'll meet with representatives from the government and we'll learn leadership skills. And then also at this event, we promoted our orchard, which is we're going to make it into a community orchard. So the whole community can come in and use it. So it's just really that kind of cool event.
The final thing that I got for you, Grace. So what are some skill sets that you've taken from FFA that you use in your normal day-to-day walk of life, whether it's school or anything else that you do?
From FFA, I've learned work ethic. That's been a really big one. I've learned how to be a leader and how to lead a team. And especially this year, I came into the president position. So that leadership became that much more important. And I've taken just that much more away. And I've also learned just how to network and talk to people in a situation that most people don't get to have. So those are some of the things I've taken away from FFA that I use every day.
Hey, Grace, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the school year.
Yes, thank you.
Joining us now is Bailey Fox from the Kindred FFA chapter. Bailey, for you, just take us through how you got into the local chapter there in Kindred and what do you enjoy most about FFA?
I got involved in FFA because one of my friends, we really wanted to go to fall leadership in Bismarck, and we ended up going down there. And then after that, I kind of fell in love with it. And both my advisors were just like, you should start showing up to meetings. And that's kind of how I got involved. And I'm just really looking forward to competing more and getting to be more diverse in all our competitions.
Take us through the competitions. What have you competed in? Maybe what have you done judging wise? Just take us through some of the things you've done so far.
Yeah, so I've done parliamentary procedure, I've done prepared public speaking. I'm currently in egg sales. I've competed in food science, egg comm, and small animal care. So yeah, those are my main ones.
What's the competition that you've enjoyed the most?
My favorite one would either be small animal care or egg sales. I really like doing small animal care, even though I got to do it for a year. It was probably my funnest team and just the funnest time and what I take most interest in. And I really like doing egg sales. I like working with a team and being able to sell to judges and really interact with people. It's really fun.
For the two, was there some crossover between, or was there a lot of differences between those two competitions?
No, there was totally different competitions. I mean, egg sales, you're selling one product to your judges, and then you kind of work together as a team. So you're both like individually and working with a team. And small animal care, you're memorizing constantly like different animals, different equipment, and you're constantly learning about influenza and all that sort of stuff, like that topic that we learned about last year and this year. So they're definitely different, but I liked them both in their own ways.
Bailey, for you, what's a favorite memory to date? What's something you've really enjoyed about the local, Kindred FFA chapter? What's one or two memories that come to mind for you?
Definitely like our banquets, like our commitment to Corduroy and our chapter banquet. Those have been really fun just to like hang out with our chapter, get to talk to local members that support us, and even just to like talk to people that got signed up because they heard about it and they don't really know much about FFA. It's fun to like educate them on it. And then also just like the conventions we go to, whether it's leadership or state convention or even national convention, meeting all the people. I know so many people from like the west side of the state now, and I even have people on like Snapchat and TikTok from like Ohio and Utah from national convention, which is really fun to just be able to meet new people and talk to people about FFA.
Let's kind of go through, you mentioned the networking part, but also FFA just in general. Here, Bailey, what is something with FFA that's a skill set that you've kind of taken with you that you use in your normal day-to-day walk of life outside of the networking that you've kind of already alluded to here, Bailey?
Yeah, it's definitely like the public speaking or just being able to like connect with other people. I feel like my dad gets a lot of like recognition for how his kids are able just to talk to people, and they're just like, I walk up in the grocery store and they're like, yeah, you're Jeff Fox's daughter. I'm like, yeah, how's it going? Like just being able to like get along with people and talk to people, not be afraid, and just to, put yourself out there and let people know who you are. That's probably a big one.
How fun is it to, you mentioned kind of talking with some former members, boosters. How's those conversations like talking with people who've been in your own shoes before for a couple of years where you are now and kind of seeing how they're using their skills from FFA in their normal walk of life?
Yeah, it's really interesting because like first like they ask you what you've been doing and it's completely different from what they've done in like the past years. So it's kind of interesting to see how FFA has like advanced in that way. And also I just get to see like Grace said her mom helped out a lot with Commitment to Corduroy, and she's very successful in the egg industry. And even like my aunt, my dad, they seem to have like a very good program set up with them about what they do, and they used egg in that a lot. And just talking to people in general, they use their leadership skills every day and stuff like that. And it's just fun to hear that what I'm doing now can help me in the future.
Bailey, why should someone give FFA an opportunity?
Giving FFA opportunity opens so many doors. I found out where I wanted to go to college because of vet science. I got to tour Crookston University, and we learned, and it helped us, benefited us in our competition, and it kind of interested me into going into the vet science field and going to college there. I've been able to meet, obviously, a lot of new people. I get to talk to them all the time and have friends. And then you also just get to learn like a bunch of skills. I've learned prepared public speaking helped me a lot with talking in front of crowds, or just talking to like your waitress at your restaurant, asking them what you want or how their day is going, and just learning all sorts of things depending on what you're in or what you're interested in. You learn all sorts of things, and it's not just for farmers. Like you get to talk. There's competitions about plants and animals. There's competitions about egg mech. You can really go anywhere with FFA if you're not interested in actually being out in the field. There's so many other things to be interested in. And like Clare competed in employment skills, that's something you're going to need eventually. Like you want to get that interview, and that's just something huge that a lot of people don't think about when they think of FFA.
Hey, Bailey, thanks so much for your time and best of luck the rest of the school year.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Jack Olson, part of the Lisbon FFA chapter. And for you, Jack, let's just kind of start from the beginning. What got you into the local FFA chapter, this already being your third year there in Lisbon?
I had kind of a late start. I was about halfway through my freshman year when one of my buddies kind of reached out, and because he had gone to fall leadership the semester before, and he told me it was kind of fun and he met a lot of new people, so he thought it'd be a good idea to get more of us involved with it.
What's the one thing about FFA now that you've been through it for 3 years here, Jack, that you really enjoy with your local chapter in Lisbon?
Just getting together. I mean, I made a lot new friends and got closer with a lot of other like friends that I've had prior to FFA.
Go ahead, Jack.
It's just a good environment to be around. Everybody's mostly positive, and yeah, just good people in general.
As you go from here, Jack, what are some skills, what are some things you've learned through FFA for the last couple of years?
I think a big one is public speaking, because no matter what you're doing, you're going to have to talk to the judges. And most of the time, it's not people you've ever seen before. And a lot of times it's people you'll never see again. So, I mean, just that mentality, hey, nobody really cares in the long run. So it's not a big deal.
For you, Jack, when it comes to FFA, what are some competitions? What are some things that you've competed at? And what are you looking forward to coming up here for the rest of the year?
For state, I do dairy cattle eval. So that's like you just go in a ring and you judge a bunch of different classes of dairy cows. I do egg sales, which is just selling to different judges, and they judge you on how good you are with talking to them and selling. And then in the winter, I do parliamentary procedure, which is just running a meeting.
Okay. Out of those three, which one do you enjoy the most?
I think I enjoy egg sales the best, just because it's more of a genuine like interaction with the judges that you have. You kind of get to talk to them more.
And take us through dairy, just kind of what is that competition all about that you compete in as well?
So like I said, you're in a ring with a bunch of people and you judge the dairy cows, and then you have this little score sheet and you write down like the places of classes, and then afterwards you get a couple minutes and you have to write up some reasons, and then you present those to the judges and they judge you on those as well.
For you, Jack, what's a favorite memory to this standpoint? What's something that kind of just stands out, whether it's something, in the community or maybe in a competition here? What's one or two that kind of stand out to you?
Last year at Little Eye in Fargo, that's a big competition up there. One of my buddies made a poem about a cow, and we tried to stick it in a painting to leave it like for the next people in the hotel or whatever. And then the painting fell and broke. So we still have the poem, and it's called The Poem That Broke the Painting.
This seems pretty apropos from that standpoint. Jack, as you kind of just take a look through FFA, why should someone join their local FFA chapter if they have an opportunity?
Just for the experiences, like meeting people. You meet so many genuine, real people that are like lifelong. Some of them I've known since freshman year, and I've just kept in touch and been friends with them since day one. So it's definitely a good environment to be around.
Is it safe to say FFA is part networking, but also networking within your own school, but networking, across the state? Just take us through what you've been able to do in a couple of years in terms of just getting to meet new people from across the state.
Yeah, like I said, I've made lots of new friends, and everybody's just been real with me, and it's a lot. It's almost like a job because you're learning so many different new things, but at the end of the day, it's just competitions, and it doesn't all mean that much. So it's definitely fun.
Hey, Jack, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the school year here for you.
Thank you.
Joining us here from the Lisbon FFA chapter is Mara Kempel. Mara, just first and foremost, kind of what got you into FFA and how long have you been part of the local chapter there in Lisbon?
I would say for me, definitely livestock judging. I started off as a junior livestock judger, and then as we kind of aged out of the juniors, we move into seniors, and then we go towards FFA. So we kind of split senior 4-H and FFA contests so we can compete for both. And I would say that's definitely what got me involved in the FFA program, and it all just kind of followed from there.
What are some of the skill sets that you learn through your chapter that you kind of carry with you, part of your, day-to-day lifestyle?
I would say definitely have confidence, and that also comes with livestock judging. Just having confidence, it'll take you a long ways in life just to believe in yourself and really sell yourself.
Mention some of the activities. What are some of the competitions or parts of FFA that you're working with this year as a senior?
Obviously livestock judging. I've competed in small animal care, nutrition and food prep. Yeah.
Do you enjoy judging more? Or do you enjoy showing more?
I really enjoy showing during the summer. Yep.
What's the one difference between judging and showing from your perspective that you kind of had the experience of that's a little bit different between the two?
I would say for showing, it's really helpful having the judging experience I have because I know how to make my animal look best for the judge and really just putting myself in their shoes. And yeah.
As you move forward here, heading off to University of Jamestown at physical therapy, is there anything with FFA that you kind of maybe can take with you once you get to college, and particularly that degree?
I would say definitely work ethic. FFA teaches you so much about work ethic and how to work together as a team. So being able to do that in a physical therapy setting will be super helpful in my future.
What are you most looking forward to once you get on campus in Jamestown?
I really love the feel. It feels like a small town, and it's not a huge campus, so you can have connections with your professors and your classmates, and I'm really looking forward to that.
For you, Mara, whether it's maybe at a competition or something in the community, what's one or two of your favorite events that you've done with your FFA chapter there in Lisbon?
I would say my favorite one that comes to mind is last year we did a petting zoo for National FFA Week, and that was super fun getting to bring up elementary school students that maybe don't have experience with agriculture or seeing these farm animals. So getting for them to be able to like handle them and pet them, it was a really cool experience for them, but also really rewarding for us to be able to give them that opportunity.
What's the one part of FFA that someone maybe doesn't know about that you think people should know about FFA in terms of if they haven't been a part of it or able to kind of, get their feet wet in a local chapter?
I would definitely say the communication and the management that goes on backstage. Our advisors do so much to help us get set up and host meetings and put on these events for us and the community to see success in. So
why should someone give FFA a shot?
It's a great way to meet new people and really step out of your comfort zone. And a lot of people see success in a lot of different ways. It teaches you so many different things that you can use in your future, even if you're not pursuing an agricultural related degree.
Final thing, Mara, what was your favorite petting zoo animal? What was one that you really enjoyed kind of showing off, so to speak, that you had there?
Well, I'm a little biased because I did bring some of my own animals, but I would say we had a dairy cow that was really cute.
Mara, thanks so much for your time and best of luck coming up at the University of Jamestown in the fall.
Thank you very much.
Join us now from the Lisbon FFA chapter is Zane Lyons, a fellow senior here. And Zane, for you, just kind of take us through your background with FFA. What kind of got you into the program now that you've done it 4 years here in Lisbon?
So basically my entire family has been in FFA, and I was like, I kind of want to do that, and it just looked pretty fun. I get to meet a lot of new people and make some friends and do contests, and yeah.
For your family, how much just around the dinner table, so to speak, does FFA kind of just, get brought up before you're in FFA and now that you've been through it throughout your high school years here?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I don't every day, yeah.
Every day. For you, Zane, as you kind of go through this FFA chapter, what's a skill set that you've kind of learned from your local Lisbon chapter that you kind of carry with you every day?
Probably public speaking. I speak a lot into like judges and just other people, and yeah.
What's a favorite memory that you enjoy about FFA?
Probably roping one of my friends at the state convention.
I'm guessing that wasn't a competition. That was just some fun between you and your friends.
Yep.
For you on the way here going forward, why should someone join their local FFA chapter and give it a shot?
Probably because people are out and about with each other, meeting new people, competing in the contests, and yeah, it's just a fun time.
Take us through what some of the competitions that you compete at.
So I do livestock judging, where you judge animals and then you write some reasons, and then you go to the judges and you tell them what them classes were like and place them 1 to 4. And I also did farm and management, farm business. And you just take a test about farming, kind of, and yeah.
Between those two, which one did you like more, the judging or more the farm and business side?
Probably the judging. I also did egg mech. That was a pretty nice class too. So.
And for you, Zane, as you move forward, heading to Bismarck State College for farm management coming up, just take us through why that was a particular major that you wanted to study a little bit more and kind of get more hands-on with.
So basically, I kind of live on a farm, and I plan to farm in the next 10 years, take over the farm eventually, and just farm with my dad. Yep. So.
What made Bismarck State College be a right fit for you as well, particularly from that portion, but also going to compete, track and field as well?
So I've been doing track and field since 8th grade year, and I wanted to find a college, probably a 2-year, and that was kind of really the only option. So, and I asked around like some of my friends and asked them what they thought about the majors that they were taking up in, and they said the professors were really good and they really liked the class they were doing. So, yeah.
Is there any correlation from sports to farming in terms of, obviously folks might say work ethic from that standpoint for you here, Zane, but is there anything for a correlation that you do on a day-to-day landscape with FFA or just, your own farming background that you do on athletics as well?
Yeah, time management, work ethic, and probably communications, but yep.
As you go forward here for the last couple months, Zane, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to here for the rest of your senior year with the FFA chapter?
Just get to spend time with my friends and finish strong in the contests.
Hey, Zane, thanks so much for your time and best of luck moving forward at Bismarck State College.
Yep, thank you.
Join us is Alexis Fleck here, part of the Lisbon FFA chapter. Alexis, first things first, just kind of what got you into FFA and kind of how long have you been involved with the organization down there in Lisbon?
I have been in FFA for about 4 years since I was a freshman. I've always been around animals. My whole family does business in cattle, and I personally raise goats. And I just always wanted to be part of a association where you can be part of a family and kind of get that leadership and stuff that helps you grow as a person.
As you move forward here, what's something or what are some skills that you have learned through your local chapter that you're taking with you in your normal day-to-day life and as you get ready for college coming up in the fall?
Definitely leadership and being able to speak in front of people and being able to be comfortable around people that you don't know and aren't around all the time.
What's your favorite thing about FFA or what you have with your local chapter in Lisbon?
Being part of a family and being able to do fun activities with all sorts of people and all different ages, and even be able to be in the community and do things with the community.
If someone hasn't heard of FFA before, or maybe he's new into the area, how can you best describe what FFA kind of does and what you kind of do on a day-to-day basis?
I think FFA is a association that helps with like farmers around the community, and you don't have to be a farmer or person that's in the future of farming. If you just want to be in an association and be able to be part of a group, that FFA is the perfect thing to do to make sure that you get that leadership and all the things that you need for your future.
Alexis, for you, why should someone join FFA? Kind of that part two on that question. Why should someone, give it a shot no matter what age they are or whether they have a farming background, a city background? Why should someone, give FFA a shot?
Honestly, just to like meet new people and to kind of get out of your comfort zone and be able to compete in different competitions and be able to travel around North Dakota and even go to nationals in Indianapolis.
Take us through some of the competitions. What are some things that you have competed in or maybe even judged in the past?
I have done livestock judging, and I am a competitive shower in FFA and point shows. So I have been around like different FFA things, and I've done different competitions with districts and state level.
Do you enjoy the judging more? Do you enjoy kind of showing off, so to speak, a little bit more?
I honestly like showing off a little bit more. Judging kind of gets me a little bit more nervous and not my cup of tea, but I do love being competitive and being able to be out in the show ring.
For you, Alexis, here, you're heading off to NDSCS coming up in the fall. Just take us through what you plan on once you get to Wahpeton in terms of studies and kind of what are you looking forward to once you get on campus?
When I look forward to getting into the animal science play of things and being able to internship at different vet clinics and be able to be a vet assistant as the time goes on. And after college, I would like to either go back to school for vet tech or just AI tech.
For you, Alexis, how much is FFA talked about on a daily, whether it's with family or friends? How much are you just talking about, FFA, so to speak?
Probably almost every day with animals, and my whole life is with animals and showing, and FFA is a big part in showing for me.
Final thing, as you kind of wind down through the senior year here, what are you most looking forward to one more time representing your local chapter? What's something you're looking forward to coming up here with your local FFA chapter?
I'm excited to get the state degree and be able to be a person that gets the state degree in our chapter and be able to be a legacy in the Lisbon FFA chapter.
Alexis, thanks so much for your time and best of luck coming up at NDSCS in the fall.
Thank you.
Welcome in now with Abigail Russell, the reporter for the Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA chapter. And Abigail, what's something that you kind of have learned from FFA with your time? What's the biggest thing that you've kind of taken away from being a part of FFA?
Definitely a bit of leadership, I guess, how to communicate with people no matter like if you know them, if you don't, and like with the little bit that you do know about them.
And how did you get into FFA?
Well, when I was in 6th grade, the FFA here at my school was missing a member for one of their teams that they wanted to compete. So the ag instructor kind of was like, so your mom owns a greenhouse, right? So you probably know a little bit about plants. Do you want to join this team? And I was like, you know what? Sure, I can do that. Why not?
That's awesome. So that was kind of your footing into it. You knew stuff about the greenhouse, so you're just like, oh, I can definitely do this.
Yep.
That's awesome. And is it something that you guys kind of talk about around your parents, your mom, whatever that may be, about FFA around the dinner table?
Yeah, a little bit. I like telling her stories about like what's going on and stuff like that and what we're doing for it.
Yeah. And kind of some of those stories, you have like maybe a favorite story or a favorite memory from being a part of FFA?
Probably my first competition. I was with a group of people that I kind of liked, and I feel like I had a lot of fun there. It was like a big learning experience for me, but it was fun to actually be able to go out and like do all of that.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you mentioned the competitions. What are some of the competitions that you compete in?
So I've done nursery landscape, crops, floriculture, and small animals.
Okay. And do you have a favorite one?
I enjoy nursery landscape the most, I think.
Okay. And why is that?
I don't know. It's what I'm most used to because I've done it the most times, and it's always just been fun, I guess. The different types of like plants and insects and all of that type of stuff.
That's fair. And what's something that you guys do out in the community, the local community, that you really enjoy doing?
I guess I enjoy the cleanup when we go out and we pick up the ditches and the road and all of that.
Okay, awesome. And what's something that you've maybe learned from your advisor, Travis Johnson? I know he hasn't been there very long, but maybe there's something that's stuck with you or that he's taught.
Definitely, I feel like I've learned more about leadership when he's here than I have with any other advisor. He's talked a lot about it and all of the different components that go into it, so I have like a better understanding of it now than I did before.
Okay. And if anybody's out there watching that's maybe on the fence about joining FFA, they're not quite sure if they should or not, why would you say that they should join FFA?
Well, I guess all of the different experiences you get to have doing those competitions, learning about the different things. It's fun. It's an excuse to get up, go do some more things instead of just, normal school and stuff like that.
Hey, that's fair. Well, thank you so much, Abigail, for stopping in, and have a great rest of your school year. Welcome into the FFA show, Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA chapter, here with the secretary of their chapter, Logan Bracken. And Logan, what's kind of maybe your favorite thing about FFA?
Definitely like interacting with different people at events. I've never really been a social person, but getting to talk to other people at events is definitely really fun. Like talking with them about their experiences in FFA, talking with them about my experience. It's really fun.
Yeah, and you talk about those experiences. You mentioned that you didn't grow up on a farm or anything, and normally people, when they hear FFA, they think of farms, but that's not the truth. And how did you get into FFA then?
Back when I was in 6th grade, there were 2 FFA members that came into our class and gave us like a presentation about what FFA was kind of about and everything you got to do. And I thought it seemed really interesting. So going into 7th grade, I made sure to join, and I just enjoyed it ever since.
That's awesome. So you've been in FFA for 2 years then?
Yeah.
Awesome. And what's been your favorite memory to this point with the FFA?
Probably my state trip last year. It was really fun to go there and just like hang out with sorry, you can probably hear the bell in the background. But it was really fun to like stay in a hotel room with my friends, just have fun while waiting for our competition the next day.
Yeah, just kind of hanging out, just being friends and just chilling and whatnot.
Yeah, and we got a few days off of school for it too, so that was nice.
That's always a bonus. And what are some of the competitions that you compete in?
I'm currently doing fish and wildlife, and I think it was 2 years ago I did dairy cattle evaluation, which was pretty fun, but it didn't really stick with me. I've been doing fish and wildlife since I started.
Okay. And that's your favorite competition to do?
Yeah, by far.
Okay, awesome. And if you were suggesting to somebody's kind of curious about FFA, why would you suggest to them that they should join FFA?
I'd say that it's a really good learning experience for a lot of things. Like, it's not just something you join and only learn one thing. You can like branch out within FFA and learn a ton of different things. So I'd say it's just a really good learning experience for anybody, really. And it's definitely worth a try.
That's awesome. And I've heard the pancake feed a couple different times. Is that also your favorite kind of activity that you guys do out in the local community?
Yeah, I love the pancake feed. It's really fun to see the members of the community make them food. It's really fun.
That's awesome. What's maybe the biggest thing that you've learned since joining FFA?
I've definitely learned how to talk to people a lot more. I used to be I still am shy when talking to people, but I feel like throughout FFA, I've gotten a little bit better at it at least. But yeah, it's been nice to learn how to talk to people more.
It certainly is a little blessing to kind of get those social skills earlier, the better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got for you here today. So again, Logan Bracken, thank you for stopping in, and best of luck with the rest of your school year.
All right, yep, it was nice talking to you.
Welcome you in again to the Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA portion of the FFA show. Joined now with the Sentinel of Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA chapter, Marley Lindstrom. And Marley, what's maybe the biggest thing that you've learned since joining FFA?
I think definitely leadership is a pretty big thing, but also I've been learning a lot about different animals and breeds, especially with what I do. I really enjoy being able to brag about knowing what breed a dog is. If I see it outside, I'll point it out.
That's awesome. And is that kind of the competitions that you do, like the small?
Yeah, I do a lot of small animals.
Okay, awesome. And is that the only competitions you do, or do you do other
I've
ones?
done fish and wildlife, but small animals is kind of the main one.
Okay, gotcha. And um, you didn't grow up on a farm, you mentioned. So how did you get into FFA?
My mom kind of forced me into it since I don't do sports, so I'm kind of stuck doing all this other stuff to make up for it. But I ended up really enjoying it my first year in 7th grade, so I kind of kept doing it, and I became an officer.
That's awesome. So it doesn't really sound like you were stuck into it then. You enjoy
I guess
it now.
not. Yeah.
And is it something that you kind of talk about at the dinner table with your parents or siblings, whatever it may be?
Definitely. I like bringing up all this cool stuff I get to do. And especially like when I go off to state, I like coming back and talking about all the cool things I got to do and see there.
And you mentioned all the cool things. Do you have a favorite memory of those events that you've gone on?
State, as a lot of other people have mentioned, is one of my favorite memories. The hotel we got was pretty cool. And I was pretty thoroughly enjoying myself.
That's awesome. And was FFA something that you kind of always planned on joining, or just kind of come up randomly?
Well, where I grew up, we don't have FFA. We had a couple other things. So when I moved here to Climax, FFA was kind of like this big thing that everyone just did when they got to the age. So I joined it thinking, I don't know, I probably wasn't going to like it all that much. And then I did end up liking a lot.
That's awesome. And if someone's out there watching that is maybe thinking about joining FFA, but is kind of on the fence, why would you suggest to them that they should join FFA?
Well, FFA is a great opportunity to meet people with similar interests to you, or even maybe find a career you would enjoy doing. Because there's all these different competitions and state conventions and all this cool stuff that you get to do. And there's all these other people that really enjoy this as well. So you can make new friends, you can learn different skills, different job opportunities.
Yeah, it's a big wide world out there, especially with FFA, different competitions that you can do. So that's a great suggestion. Is there something that you've learned from your advisor, Travis Johnson, that he's kind of taught you that's stuck with you?
Probably all of these leadership advice and skills that he's taught us. He's new here, and I've had a couple of different ag instructors since I've came to this school. So it's kind of varying what I've learned from different perspectives and different people.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you. And thank you so much for stopping in, and have a great rest of your school year. Joined now by the president of the Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA chapter, Caitlin Waldall. And Caitlin, what's maybe your favorite memory? We'll start off with that for you here since you've joined FFA.
Probably definitely going to state the 2 years I was in FFA.
And what was the best part about being down at state?
Just going with like a tight group of friends who you never expect to really get close with, and then ended up having a bunch of fun at state because of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you kind of mentioned that you didn't grow up on a farm necessarily. Your dad had some previous history being on a farm, but what kind of got you into FFA if it wasn't that you grew up on a farm?
Definitely my old ag teacher when he was here. And then also one of my closest friends who was in FFA. Those two really got me into it and had me do contests with them and stuff.
Okay. And speaking of those contests, what are the competitions that you compete in?
I do nursery landscape and floriculture.
Okay. And what's your favorite one?
Nursery landscape.
Okay, awesome. And so you kind of mentioned that you talked a little bit with your dad about FFA. Is it a common topic that you guys have at the dinner table?
I definitely say so, more so with my dad, but I also talk to a lot of people about FFA and their experiences with FFA when they grew up and stuff.
That's awesome. And um, if you were suggesting to somebody that they should join FFA, why should they join FFA?
Um, it's definitely a learning experience. It's a bunch of contests that you don't really hear much about and topics that don't get brought up a lot. But you definitely learn a lot about leadership and just like other things in general and how to do things differently than what you normally see through like other groups of sports and everything else.
Right. So it's just kind of a different little bit of a vibe, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. And is there something that you do out in the community that you really enjoy doing, or what's a fun event that you guys have?
Definitely the pancake feed. That's a lot of fun that we do. And I say probably that.
Okay.
We also plant flowers and clean up the highway that our chapter owns.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And you mentioned that you're a senior, so what are your plans for next year?
I plan on going to college for bacon and pastry art in a college that's around here.
Okay. And do you think with your experiences from FFA that'll help you in your future endeavors going to college?
I definitely think so. During FFA, it helps me. What I've learned is that talking to people isn't something to be scared of. Usually I'm a nervous wreck and I'm usually more shy and stuff, but FFA definitely taught me how to be more social.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I feel like that's a very common thing that you hear with the people that are in FFA, and it's a great thing. Thank you so much, Caitlin Waldall, the president of the Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA chapter, and best of luck with the rest of your school year and college next year.
Great. Thank you so much.
Welcome back into the Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA show. Joined now with Malaya Larson, the treasurer for Climax-Shelly-Fisher. And Malaya, how did you get into FFA? What was the kind of start for you to get into it?
So when I was younger, I always loved agriculture, and one of my teachers, he encouraged me to join FFA, which I didn't do anything at the start, but he was highly encouraging me to join it since he thought I would do good. And then I ended up deciding, why not be an officer?
There you go. When did you join? Was it just recently, or?
It was, what year did we?
I think it was like sophomore.
I would say about sophomore year, we officially were in FFA.
Okay. And so was that always it doesn't sound like it was really anything that you kind of anticipated joining right away. So what was kind of the thing that triggered that?
Mainly it was going out to have fun with my friends and also seeing how well I would do on other tests besides school tests.
Fair enough. And speaking of those tests, what are the competitions that you compete in?
The competitions that I have competed in is nursery and landscaping and floriculture. Didn't do well in floriculture, so we're doing nursery and landscaping again this year.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm assuming that's your favorite one then?
Yes,
okay.
Very much so.
And you said you kind of grew up on a farm. You have it; it's still in your family. So is that kind of another reason why you decided to join FFA?
It was mostly encouraged by my grandfather. He was in FFA, and so was my dad.
Okay. And is that something that you talk now fairly recently about around the dinner table with them?
Not very often, but it still gets brought up, and my dad was also another reason why I became a treasurer, because he was also a treasurer.
Okay, awesome. And you mentioned that you're a senior. What are your plans for next year?
I plan to join the same company that my dad works in, which is waste management, and I would want to be a diesel mechanic.
Awesome. And what's something that Travis Johnson, your advisor, has maybe taught you throughout your time with FFA?
He has taught us that time management is a really big thing, especially when you are under pressure, and he is encouraging us to do a lot more stuff than what our other advisors have done and all that. Pizzazz.
Fair enough. And for somebody that's watching that's maybe thinking about joining FFA, not quite sure exactly, what's something that you would suggest to them, a reason as to why they should join FFA?
FFA is a very tight-knit group of people that is, I wouldn't say like, well, I would say like everybody is special in their own ways and encouraged to do what they love. And if it's doing tests and joining everyone in a going to state and all that kind of stuff, if they're encouraged to do that, I think they should, because it is a very great experience to endure.
For sure. I like that. And let's see. And what might be your favorite memory that you've had since being a part of FFA?
My favorite memory is getting the test over with and laughing to everyone about how well they think they did. And then finding out they did a lot better than what they expected.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling when you do a little bit better than you're anticipating.
Oh, yeah.
And what's maybe it seems like you enjoy being with your fellow FFA members. Is that kind of your favorite thing about FFA?
Yeah, because everybody seems to not judge anyone and is always encouraged to obviously do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's great. And that's all I got for you here today. And so thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your school year.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Welcome you into the Climax-Shelly-Fisher portion of the FFA show. I'm joined now with Lila Roper, the vice president of the Climax-Shelly-Fisher FFA chapter. And Lila, how did you get into FFA?
I started FFA just in the school here when I got to 7th grade. I always saw those FFA kids always doing so much like fun stuff, and I was like, I want to do that too. And I also really like animals, so that definitely helped.
And do you do a lot when you do competitions? Do you do stuff with animals? Is that what your strong suit is?
Sometimes with the certain competitions, you'll be working with cattle, goats, pigs, or just like random pets in general. So yes, I do that.
Okay. And what's something that you've learned from FFA that maybe you didn't expect to learn?
Definitely a leadership role. I didn't really try to lead much when I was like younger, but now I'm vice president, so now I'm learning that stuff.
That's fair. And is there something that you kind of do out in the community with the FFA chapter that you enjoy doing, or that's kind of brings a smile to some faces?
Sometimes we go pick up stuff from like ditches, and we plant flowers sometimes. We don't do and we do pancake feeds. That's mostly the extent of what we do, but we do quite a few things.
Okay, awesome. And kind of talked about how you got into it, but you kind of mentioned before we started recording here that you didn't grow up on a farm. So how did you learn about it? You just saw people doing it and you just kind of followed?
Yeah, through school mostly. It's mostly a school thing. So I just saw people doing it. It's like, that's cool. I'm doing that too.
That's fair. And do you talk about it a lot when you're sitting down at the dinner table with your friends, family, whatever that is?
Oh yeah, I love talking about it. We do a lot of fun stuff, and I like talking about it.
And what might be your favorite memory that you've had since being a part of FFA?
I'd say going to state last year, state FFA. I had a lot of fun staying in a hotel room with my friends.
I'm sure you did.
I did.
And Is there something that you've learned from your advisor, Travis Johnson, that he's taught you throughout this process?
Yeah, I say like he's new too, and we have to help him sometimes, but he does teach us a lot of stuff. Like I just learned about different competitions you can do. That's not just what is it called?
CDEs.
CDEs. Thank you guys.
And what are the competitions that you do compete in?
That I compete in.
Yeah.
I've done cattle evaluation, fish and wildlife, and I'm doing small animals.
Okay. What's your favorite one?
Small animals, definitely.
Okay. And just because they're a little bit cuter, or what's the reasoning behind that?
Small animals usually works with like anatomy and like behavioral stuff, and I do love learning about that.
Okay. Awesome. And maybe if somebody's watching that hasn't joined FFA and is maybe thinking about joining FFA, why would you suggest to them that they should?
The amount of people you meet while doing FFA, like the different experiences you get, is actually incredible. And I just ask anyone to do that, really.
Yeah, awesome. And you still have a couple years left here, so you're the vice president as a ninth grader. What is kind of the plan for you going forward?
I'm not quite sure yet. I'm still thinking about it, but I guess I'll just see what time does.
Hey, that's fair. Well, we thank you so much for joining us, and again, good luck with the rest of your school year.
Thank you.
And we're joined now by Wapeno Little Wolf of the Monoman FFA chapter. And Wapeno, just to kind of start off, what got you into FFA?
So when I was in the 8th grade, I joined FFA. I was in Kurt Francis's Ag 8 class. And it was more or less at that time just a thing to do after school. And we were going on like the haunted trails over in Fertile, I think. I can't remember where. But and then joining after that, learning a lot of like leadership skills and a lot of things that are now kind of a crucial part of my life that I can thank to FFA.
And what's something that you've kind of learned from being in an FFA?
Yeah, so being an FFA has taught me a lot of, like I said, leadership skills and learning how to stay on task, I suppose, and keeping things going. Especially when it comes to teaching, and I really can thank FFA for going into music education and becoming a teacher. And I learned a lot of teaching skills for like when we go into the classrooms and teach kids about leadership and all that.
And what is your role with your FFA chapter?
So I'm the vice president. So I pretty much assist the president in directing the work of the organization and helping keep meetings going smoothly and keeping us on task. And so kind of just like, I suppose the president's backbone, keeping everything going.
That's fair. And as far as competitions, what are kind of the competitions that you compete in?
I used to compete in floriculture when I was like 8th, 9th grade. Now I do meats and wildlife, but I couldn't make it to the wildlife one this year.
Okay. And which one's your favorite to do?
I would say wildlife. I love learning about all like the different animals and how they fit in the world and all the little facts and things.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we kind of talked a little bit before here, but you're a senior. What are kind of your plans for next year?
Yeah, so next year I'm going to be attending Bemidji State, and I'm going to major in instrumental music education with a minor in Ojibwe language. And so really FFA has taught me a lot about like teaching, and that's kind of why I really want to go into teaching, and I love music. And yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That kind of ties all together a little bit. And if there's somebody watching that is kind of on the edge of whether or not they want to join FFA, why would you suggest to them that they should?
I would say they should join FFA because of all the opportunities. There's so many youth and kids in our area that are accustomed to nothing happens and nothing goes on, and they feel like they can't be a part of anything. And so FFA has always kept the door open, and it did open the door for a lot of kids to be a good member of the community and learning leadership. And so I would strongly suggest everybody should join FFA so they can learn to be a good member of society, I suppose.
There you go. That's fair. And what are maybe some of your favorite memories from being a part of FFA?
Oh, I gotta think. My favorite, every time I think of FFA, I kind of giggle a little bit because we have so much fun and just do random things. But I think I have a couple. Like my first favorite memory was going to ANRAD in 8th grade at Crookston and not knowing what was going on at all, and now helping kids go and helping them practice, and But I also love when we do National FFA Week and we have the petting zoo and seeing all the kids' faces, and there's just a lot of little memories that when I see other people happy, it makes me happy.
And it seems like FFA just seems to be a very big part of your life. Do you kind of talk about it a lot when you sit down at the dinner table with your friends, families, whatever that may be?
Yeah, I do. I talk a lot with like my aunts and my mom about FFA and how, it's not just for farmers. I'm not a farmer. I grew up here on the White Earth Reservation, and how it's also about leadership skills, and it helps me teach a lot and use a lot of things the tools that I use. And yeah, so we talk a lot about how it helps, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned it. It's kind of a misconception where when people think FFA, you have to be a farmer, but in your case, you didn't grow up on a farm. Did you ever think that you would join FFA when you were growing up?
Yeah, so I tell a lot of people when I talk about FFA, and they're like, "Well, you're not a farmer," and I'll say, "My grandma grows tomatoes," but no, I've from K through 6, I never heard of FFA, and then in 7th grade I heard of it, and at the time it was explained to me Future Farmers of America, and so I didn't join. Then in 8th grade, getting talked to about it and how it doesn't actually mean that anymore. It's just more of a leadership organization, and so like hearing about it and actually overcoming my challenges to join it really helped.
Yeah, that's awesome. And kind of locally, is there anything that you do out in the community that you really enjoy doing, kind of putting some smiles on faces, whatever that may be?
Yeah, so locally, I sit on the White Earth Reservation Youth Council. I'm the cultural liaison, and so I go around and basically, like you said, I make people smile. And there's a lot of kids that don't understand that how many opportunities are open for them. And so I basically show them opportunities, and FFA has helped me a lot with showing opportunities and things like that.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Wapno, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck throughout the rest of the school year.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome back to the FFA show here on the Mahnomen chapter of FFA with Emily Abdu, a sophomore from Mahnomen. And Emily, you kind of mentioned, we talked about a little bit here, you're not on a farm. You didn't grow up on a farm. How did you get into FFA?
My friends had brought me to the meetings, and just showed me how fun FFA really is, and how many things I got included in, like contests, fall rally, and lots of other things, and just a really good group of people to work with and have fun with.
And did you ever kind of think that you'd be a part of FFA since you didn't grow up on a farm?
No, I actually did not.
And so how did you get into it then? You kind of just talked to people from around you, and that's kind of how it happened?
My friends, they're like, you should really try and get an interview done so you can become an officer. We had one senior last year that was leaving, and she was actually the reporter, and I really like doing taking the pictures and just everything. So I really wanted to try and get to be the reporter. So I took an interview, and that's kind of what got me. My friends kind of introduced FFA to me, and I thought it was fun, and yeah, was really interested in it.
Well, that's awesome. And do you compete in any events, or what do you kind of do for the FFA chapter?
So I did some contests last year. I haven't done any this year. But I have been to Fall Rally, WRLC thing, something. But I like to, one time me and my other officer planned a scavenger hunt for our meeting for Thanksgiving kind of thing. So like to plan things and for like our meetings and stuff. And yeah.
That's awesome. And do you get out and about with the FFA chapter just kind of locally, and what do you kind of do with them out there?
Yeah, so I'm actually friends with literally all of them. So we kind of hang out outside of school and inside of school. We all hang out together sometimes. Kind of talk about FFA, but mostly just a lot of planning for our meetings and making ideas of what we should do at our meetings for the fun activity.
That's awesome. And if someone was watching and they're kind of on the fence of whether or not they should join FFA or not, what would you suggest? Why should they join?
I think they should come join FFA. Like I said, we have a really fun time here. We do lots of sorts of games. You learn about it too. I think it's really interesting learning about new things from FFA. A lot of the different things we go to, just being included and just having fun, learning, like I said, learning, just mostly have fun and learn, and just it's a good group of people.
Yeah, of course. And what's maybe one of the favorite memories that you've had, or a couple of favorite memories that you've had since joining FFA?
So one of my favorite memories was probably my first contest. I kind of didn't really had no kind of clue what I was getting myself into, but it turned out really fun, and we didn't do too bad at our contest. So that was definitely one of my favorite memories, and I like them all, honestly.
That's awesome. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you have a great rest of your school year.
You too. Thank you.
Joined now by Bailey Halverson of the Monoman chapter of the FFA. And Bailey, just kind of what got you into FFA to start off with?
To start off with, I was raised on a beef farm, and it just seemed right because agriculture had always been a big part of my life. Then getting into it, I realized that it's so much more than agriculture. You can do almost anything in FFA. It's really just a good experience, and it helped me grow in many ways.
And what's maybe some of the biggest thing you've learned from being in FFA?
I think I grew how to be, or I learned how to be a better leader. Just learning how to teach people new things and showing them different ways to do stuff and getting them more involved in our chapter.
And was FFA something you always kind of planned on joining? You mentioned that you grew up on a farm, but was it something that you always kind of imagined doing?
Yeah, I always planned on it because we had a good program going for a while. Then we lost our instructor for a while. Then I was hoping that we'd get a teacher back in here, and we did. So these past, I think, 2 or 3 years that we've had Gene here, he's been really helping us, and I'm really glad that we have him here, being able to show us what we're doing.
What is something that Gene has kind of taught you along the way, kind of being a new mentor for you?
He's taught me how to be a better at getting kids involved and like trying to get people to come to our meetings and just getting kids more involved in the CDEs and getting them to contests.
And is there some sort of contest or some sort of event that you've enjoyed a lot since you've joined FFA?
Yeah, I do farm business management CDE, and for the past 2 years, we've qualified for state as a team.
And I imagine that it was a lot of fun going down to state.
Yeah, I really like attending the convention down in Minneapolis. It's just so cool to see everyone from all the different towns in Minnesota. There's a lot of kids that go there.
And is maybe that one of your favorite memories, or do you have another memory that you've had from being a part of FFA?
Probably ANRAD. It's a thing that we do at Crookston. I just feel like we've made so many good memories going there as a chapter.
And what have you done down there? What's kind of your favorite thing that you have done down there other than just being there?
I don't really know.
That's okay.
Just hanging out with the whole chapter, I guess.
That's fair. And is that just kind of what you would kind of describe FFA as? It's just kind of a local, just people that get together, just kind of a good kind of vibe, if you will, with all those people. Is that kind of how you view FFA as?
Yeah. Definitely the community is a big support for us.
For sure. And I'm sorry, did you say that are you a senior or?
Yep, I'm a senior.
Okay. And what are kind of your plans for next year?
I think I'm gonna attend M State in Moorhead. I think I'm gonna go for dental hygiene and hopefully farm on the side, maybe with my parents still.
Okay, awesome. And the last question for you, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's kind of the main things that you've competed in?
Just farm business management. It's like my favorite contest, and once you learn the stuff, it's hard to unlearn it. So I just think you can always improve every year.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bailey, for joining us, and best of luck throughout the rest of the school year.
Thank you.
Looking back into the FFA show, now joined by Josie Refshaw of the Monoman FFA chapter. And Josie, we talked about a little bit. It sounds like you grew up on a farm with a bunch of animals. Did that kind of get you to steer towards joining FFA?
Not totally. What kind of got me drawn to FFA is my family members being in FFA, and I kind of just wanted to follow their footsteps.
Okay. And is FFA something you kind of talk about a lot at the dinner table, since you have family members that are a part or that used to be a part of it, or farm at least too?
Talk about animals, FFA, a whole bunch of like farm related stuff quite often at home.
Okay. And so you said that being on a farm wasn't necessarily what got you to join FFA. So what did get you to join FFA?
I don't know, kind of just my dad was the president when he was in high school, and I do like farming, and I kind of just thought it would like give me something to be involved in. And now that I'm an officer, I feel like I have more of a leadership role, and I kind of need to learn to like be a leader, and so that kind of has taught me how to by joining FFA, communicating with others.
Yeah, that's awesome. And is that kind of one of the main things that you have learned from joining FFA, is kind of becoming a leader? Is there something else that kind of sticks out as well too?
I would say, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing, is becoming a leader, kind of like teaching and directing like other students how to like act at meetings and like all sorts of stuff, kind of.
Yeah. And what kind of competitions do you compete in for your chapter?
So, last year I did horse judging, and that was my first ever contest I did. And then this year for AMRAD, I believe I did livestock judging.
Okay. And which one was your favorite?
Livestock judging, probably, because it's like a mix of like cows, pigs, sheep, goats, not just one animal.
Right. Okay. Awesome. And if someone's out there watching and they're kind of on the fence of if they should join FFA, if they shouldn't join FFA, what would you say to get them to join FFA?
What I would say would probably be just try it, You don't have to be a farmer. You can learn a lot you can learn to be a leader and show others how to like, I don't know how to word this.
kind of show others how to kind of become a leader or something like that?
Yeah, I guess.
That's fair. And is there something that you do as an FFA chapter out in the community that you really enjoy doing?
Yeah. What we came up with was to make bracelets for a friend of ours that has cancer, and we're kind of like raising money for him. We're selling the bracelets, and we've done like some other stuff too, kind of.
Okay, that's awesome.
When my brother was in FFA, I'm pretty sure they did like a color run or something, which I would like to do. So,
well, maybe you'll have to get that going.
Yeah.
You're just a sophomore, so you got 2 more years to get that going.
Yep.
And so you kind of mentioned a little bit, FFA wasn't necessarily something you kind of anticipated joining necessarily, but how did you kind of hear about it? Was it from your parents, or how did you kind of hear about it?
It was from my dad. He was big in FFA. Growing up on a farm, I kind of knew like not like everything, but I knew enough to like get me started about like agriculture, crops, animals, other things. And then I took a class last year in 9th grade. And then since I was in here every day, like it would show when the meetings would be, so I kind of just like, oh, well, I'll just come to them, and like have fun. So it's pretty fun.
And then last question I got for you is, what's kind of maybe your favorite memory that you've had since joining FFA?
My favorite memory would probably be going to contests or like FFA events and meeting lots of new people. Because if you just like talk and be nice, they'll be nice back, and it's really fun getting to meet new people. So
yeah, I like that. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today, and have a great rest of your school year.
Yep, thank you.
So welcome back into the FFA show, joined by Olivia Halverson and from the 101 chapter as well. And kind of what's been the biggest thing you've learned since joining the FFA program?
I mean, the biggest thing is all the leadership skills that I've learned, but also being in FFA for 4 years, I've hopped in many different contests. I've got a chance to learn a little bit of everything, which is really fun.
And maybe what's one of your favorite contests that you've been a part of?
My favorite contest that I've been a part of is the farm business management one. It's probably my favorite because that's the one I've been to state in a couple times, which was really good experience.
And I assume going out of the state, you said it's a good experience. Maybe is that one of your favorite memories that you've had since joining the FFA program, or any other memories that you have that really stick out?
My favorite events are just our chapter meetings. We'll do a meeting and then we'll do a meeting activity. My favorite meeting activity is always in the beginning of the year. We'll kick the year off with water slide kickball. Nice. That one's always a fun one to get new members in.
I want to join that too. That sounds like a lot of fun. And so you kind of mentioned some of the competitions that some of the competitions that you compete in. What's your favorite competition to do?
I don't do many like LDEs, which is leadership development events. I do CDs, career development events, and then they'll have our region contest, but there's also ANRAD that I've attended. That's where I do most of the random ones. I really like doing the cropped one. That was really fun for me.
Okay, awesome. And has FFA always been kind of something that you kind of looked at joining throughout your whole life, or is it kind of something that just kind of popped up randomly?
I knew about FFA from when I was younger, about 7th grade. You could start in Monoman in 8th grade. That's when we had 2 instructors, but then they both, they didn't teach anymore. And so we lost FFA, our program, for 1 year, but our school board, our superintendent at the time, he was really big on agriculture. He was an ag teacher. So that was really great. We were able to get an ag teacher in. So, yeah.
And that's awesome. I say kind of unfortunate that you had to miss out a year of it, but it's good that it got back and it seems like it's up and running really well. And kind of speaking about your new advisor, what's something that you've learned from Gene that's kind of stuck with you?
So Gene, he's a really good teacher. He's really big on natural resources. That's one of my A class. That's my A class that I'm taking this semester right now. I really like what we're learning about. I wouldn't necessarily want to learn about fish really, but it's one of those things that it's like really interesting that we learn about in FFA, and Gene is really great at teaching it.
And if someone is watching and they're kind of on the fence of if they should join FFA or they shouldn't join FFA, why would you suggest that they should?
FFA, it's used to be just farmers, but now FFA has got something for everyone to do, whether that be floriculture or like crops or animals or anything like that. There's always something for everyone in FFA.
And you mentioned that you're a senior. Kind of what do you got plans for, or what are your plans for next year?
I plan on going to NUSU and I'm going to major in ag econ. So that'll be exciting.
So you still kind of continue on the little FFA track, a little bit different, obviously on a different level, but it's awesome that you're still continuing that on.
Yeah, I have a passion for agriculture. That's probably what my mom is also probably a big reason that I joined FFA. She was in FFA when she was in high school, and like she just like is my reason I really love agriculture.
That's awesome. So that must be something that you guys talk about pretty frequently at the dinner table.
Yeah, we live on a small beef farm, so if it's something about cattle, if it's something about crops, market prices, it's always something we're talking about.
That's awesome. And is there something that you guys do for FFA locally that you really enjoy doing out in the community?
I really like just getting out in the community. Like I said, we had lost our program for a while, so like letting them know that we're still here. During our town, every town, small town seems to have a week where they celebrate just the town. So ours is Wild Rice Days. We normally will have a parade, we'll have a float in there, and then we'll go around and pick up the garbages from that week because it's like kind of like a small street fair. And like I just like getting involved in the community. We do food drives. We did a food drive this October. So just anything that we're doing to help out and get let people know that we still have FFA is really one of my big things this year.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, Olivia, thank you so much for joining us, and hope you have a great rest of your school year.
Thank you.
Here on our FFA Week show, I'm joined by members of the Hillsborough FFA chapter, Hadley Abentroth and Joel Thompson joining me here from the Hillsborough chapter. Thanks for taking a little bit of time. And first off, explain to us just how you guys got involved in FFA.
I got involved. My mom's been in it, so she really pushed me to do it. And yeah, that's basically just how I got involved. She pushed me and some friends to start it up and started back up, and that's how I really got involved in it.
Yeah, my dad had always been in FFA in high school, and we were on a shop class trip, and we were sitting in the back of the bus and talking, and all of them were asking me if I wanted to do FFA, and I was like, well, I'd always wanted to, so I said, well, why don't we just do it this year and see how it goes, and we'll go off of that, and it's been a pretty good hit ever since.
There you go. What skills have you been able to achieve, been able to learn from being in the program?
Definitely meeting new friends, just learning a bunch of different things. There's a bunch of different things you can try. So every event is different, and that's what's really been cool about each event. Livestock judging, you have to speak in front of people, you have to say your reasons in front of people. Job interview that I've done, it's basically like you're having a real life job interview, and that's been really important. So for when I go out and look for a job, that's been a huge deal.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The friendship is probably one of the largest things, but also there's a big thing of leadership when you do FFA. You get to lead all sorts of events, and you get to lead chapter meetings. And then, yeah, pretty much what Hadley said. You can go off of anything. You can learn from almost anything that we do in FFA. So it's a very, I like to do it. That's the reason.
Yeah, definitely. What is something that you've been able to learn from your mentors, or some advice that you've been able to take in through FFA that has helped you?
Definitely to try new things. That's a huge. Mr. Reese has definitely pushed me to try different events that I might not feel comfortable in, and in the end, it's actually been really good for me. To make friends all over. There's a bunch of people in FFA. There's a bunch of kids. So especially when we went to nationals, there's a bunch of different kids from different states that you would never see before, and so you got to see a bunch of different people and see how they enjoy FFA. So that's been a huge part.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Mr. Reese has been a pretty big role model in order to push us to do stuff through FFA. There's also been other family members that I've had and friends that have went through FFA over the years, told me about their experiences and kind of how fun it is. So just trying to get me to do it.
Yeah, and Hadley, you'd mentioned going to nationals. Take me through that experience, where it was, and just the background that you've had being able to travel for some of these FFA meetings.
Nationals was in Indianapolis. That was a huge. We've never been there before. Like the group that we went, so that was really cool. We really wanted to go. My mom's got to go for work, and she said she really wanted me to go and just see. We had so much fun. All of us, I know, it was a super fun trip, and just every FFA trip's been super fun, especially with our group. That's where all the memories come from, is the drives and the plane rides. That's been a huge part, and so that's what I really cherish about FFA, is like all the friendships you make and all the places you get to see and go. Definitely, I guess I probably wouldn't have gone to Indianapolis if I didn't have FFA. So
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that. Indianapolis was probably the best trip we had taken. Not just because we got to skip school for that week or whatever it was, but it was more of, you got to meet all sorts of new people. You got to see all sorts of different events that sometimes North Dakota doesn't have. Um, there were so many people you got to talk to, meet new friends. The list goes on and on.
And why should someone join FFA if they're kind of on the fence? Why would you guide them to joining?
I would say definitely try it. You never know till you try. At first, I didn't know what FFA was about, but there's a bunch of different events for every person. There's an event for you. I think it's really good to try. It's really good. You make new friends. You learn leadership skills. You learn how to do different types of events, and so I think everyone should at least give it a try. And I think FFA is probably for everyone. So.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that it's definitely something you should try. Um, it's not even if you're going just into an ag field. You could be going into a business field off of out in California if you really wanted. And you get to learn all these roles and how to conduct meetings when you're still in high school, so you don't have to learn those through college or when you're at the job. Um, you can you can learn almost anything in FFA if you really tried.
Mhm. What is the FFA community like between the mentors, the friends you make? How supportive is that backbone?
The FFA community is huge. The supporters are really cool. The FFA supporters, I mean, when we went to Indianapolis, there were so many donators that donated to us to get us to go and have this super cool experience. So definitely FFA has huge supporters, and all over the state of North Dakota and all over, FFA is a huge organization with a bunch of different alumni and supporters that are super supportive.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the people that support you, I'd say, are the ones that um you'd be going to an event, say out in Carrington for an event, and you'd be in the summertime, you're going to Fargo to shop or something, and you get to see all sorts of people that you've seen out there, and you get to talk to them. Even if you only talk to them for 10, 15 minutes, they still encourage you to keep doing it, and just keep the organization alive.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys for taking some time to join me this morning, and best of luck on your FFA endeavors.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Hayden Troth and Joel Thompson join us on our Your Live event FFA show.
And we're here with Hannah Brandt, Ada Borup West FFA. And Hannah, it's National FFA Week here. And kind of give us the overview of how you guys are celebrating over at Ada Borup West.
So as a student group, we are doing dress-up days. We're doing the FFA Ag Olympics on Tuesday. We're doing trivia on Wednesday. And we are doing a career and college fair for students on Friday of this week.
All right. And out of all those things, which one are you think you're most excited for?
I am definitely most excited for, honestly, the trivia, because I'm really excited to see people's knowledge grow about FFA and what we are and what we do and just all the great things FFA has accomplished as a group.
All right. So it's about promoting FFA Week is kind of the whole thing about FFA Week. And so what is FFA kind of all about? How would you kind of give us a quick little overview, maybe to a person who isn't familiar with the organization?
I would say it is an agriculture related student group where we get together and we just learn. We learn about things agriculture related. We do contests, we do workshops. It's a big leadership thing for many kids because there's opportunities to become officers, region level officers, even state or national officers. And it's just a great experience for kids to get involved with new people and try new things. And people aren't familiar with agriculture. So I've noticed so many kids just find their little niche just through being in a simple FFA event, which is so awesome to see. And I see a lot of growth from student to student. And I encourage everybody to get involved with it if they can.
All right. And talk a little bit about your FFA background, maybe some of the things you've competed in or opportunities you've gotten.
I have been in FFA since I was in 8th grade. And that year I competed in prepared public speaking, talent, and I believe I did ag sales that year. 9th grade, 8th grade, I also did dairy cattle evaluation. So I got to judge some cows, which was awesome. And then 9th grade year, I believe I did something that year. I don't really remember what. And then sophomore year, I got to do farm business management and just a few other random things. And then my junior year, I ended up doing parliamentary procedure. And I believe I also competed in another career development event. And then my senior year, I went to state for employment skills. And I have competed in fish and wildlife this year. And also will be competing on Wednesday for companion animal vet science and small animals vet science.
All right. And I know you said you qualified for state here. Maybe talk a little bit about that, more about that competition you competed in. The job skills or whatever.
Employment skills. Yeah. So I qualified for state with employment skills, which is the competition where you create your resume and a cover letter. And it's basically all the steps you need for an interview. And then you go through multiple steps of interviews. And then if you advance, you go through even more interviews, you do a phone interview. And then overall, when you end both competitions, whether that's a state or regional level, you end up writing your own thank you letter to the employer that you're interviewing for. And you just get to experience what it'd be like to apply for a real job, which is great. And it's a great experience to go through and learn. So.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite FFA memory throughout the last couple of years?
Oh, there's a lot. State my 8th grade year was awesome. I was in a room with seniors, which Katrina Quick and Aaron Crane and all the people in that room were so fun. And then this last year when we went to state for the LDEs, when I went for employment skills, the bus ride with all of the kids for JV Parley was so fun. We just got so close and we just talked and goofed around the whole time. And it was just so fun. And just meeting new people, all the friends I've made from Boston or Crookston or anybody in between has just been a great memory.
All right. I know you mentioned you have a competition coming up here on Wednesday, but maybe what are some other things you have coming up for FFA wise, maybe throughout the next couple months?
Well, we will for sure be finishing up the rest of whatever we have for regional competitions, and then we will have the state competition in April, which we will be for sure taking the livestock evaluation team. I'm not really sure who else, and Rowan for Fish and Wildlife, and maybe a few others. So something I'm really looking forward to is seeing who we can all bring to state. So
Okay. And and before we get going here today, Hannah, was there anything else you wanted to make mention of here or shout out about FFA before we get going?
I really want to shout out my ag teacher, Mrs. Savage. She is such a strong human being, and I just appreciate all the work that her and many other CTE teachers put into their profession and their students. And I am just so proud to be an FFA member and so proud to be going into the ag education field. And I just really want to shout out those people for making everything possible for so many students.
Awesome. Well, Hannah, if there was nothing else, I appreciate the time here today.
Thank you.
And we're here with Andy Wagner of Ada Borup West FFA. And Andy, it's National FFA Week here. And just overall, how excited are you to, just be able to promote FFA here again and promote it to younger students?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. FFA Week is a pretty good week. We do a lot of activities and promote the career fair, college and career fair. That's pretty good. And then we do some activities in the gym, and yeah, it's good time.
Yeah, kind of speaking of which, kind of give us the rundown on what you guys will all be doing this week. Because as you mentioned, I know you mentioned career fair, but I know as you mentioned, you have a lot more stuff to do.
Yeah, we have the career fair. That's I don't know how many people are coming, but I think it's like around like 25 to 30, and then we move into the activities we do at school during the week, and those are like some games. I don't know. We kind of do like we've done in the past, like where you take the seed bags and run them from one end of the court to the other end of the court. Do type of games like that, and yeah, it's all pretty fun.
Okay. And of course, as we mentioned, FFA Week is the week to promote FFA, and just kind of talk a little bit about your FFA background and kind of what you maybe compete in.
Yeah, I've been in FFA since eighth grade or seventh grade, ever since I could sign up, and yeah, it's been pretty fun. Kind of hopped around between ag mechanics and crops, and this year I'm doing farm business management. That's a little bit of a harder competition. It's more like writing based, not so much on the mechanic or crop side. I mean, it is on the crop side, but it's more of a pencil paper type thing.
Kind of speaking of which, kind of what is that whole farm business management? What does that kind of entail for you in a year?
Well, you're just practicing, and then you have ANRAD, that's one competition, and then in March is like the big competition to qualify for state. And yeah, farm business management is kind of like learning how to run the farm, or things more on the tax side and the actual business side of farming.
Okay. And is farming kind of something you want to maybe do after high school?
Yeah, I'd like to pursue that if I could. That'd be the thing I'd want to get into as of right now, but you gotta kind of see how that goes.
Okay. And since we're promoting FFA here this week, why should someone maybe consider joining FFA, or why should a student consider joining?
I feel like they should join FFA. It's like it's a good organization and do a lot of fun things. It's not all like competition based. We have our annual ski trip, which we did tubing instead of skiing this year, and yeah, you don't have to be at school all the time and get to leave school once in a while. It's fun. There's a lot of people in it. I'd encourage it.
What would you say your favorite part about FFA is?
Just like being able to go to the competitions and do other things rather than school. Sometimes it's kind of nice just not to do school things. even though you're still kind of taking a test when you're doing the competition, but yeah, it's still kind of fun.
Okay. Are you heading to the state convention here later this year?
I don't think I'm going to this year. Maybe next year though. I probably will have to next year to use up some of my money I've saved up, and yeah, might be able to get the trip free with all my money.
Okay, awesome. And Andy, before we get going here today, I'll just kind of have you, maybe just again kind of give a quick overview of maybe some of the things you've done here in the past. I know we kind of talked a little bit more about the farm business management, but kind of explain maybe some other opportunities FFA has given you over the years.
Yeah, well, the other competitions are like, oh, I've been in ag mechanics and crops, and there's horse evaluation and cow evaluation. More on the flower side if you like that, and more on the crop-based side. Trees, fish and wildlife, all that stuff. And like being an FFA and having our annual banquet every year, like it like makes you talk on stage in front of a bunch of people. And I find that to be really good because like I can't talk in front of people. It's hard, but it's gotten easier over the years because we pretty much have to when we do the banquet, and there's probably about 30 or 40 people there, so you kind of have to. So
All right. Well, if there was nothing else here today, Andy, I appreciate the time, and yeah, happy FFA week to you guys as well.
yeah, thank you.